हेलो एवरीवन, माई सेल्फ रोहित कुमार त्रिपाठी। और अभी हम लोग ESE 2025 प्री का सॉल्यूशन डिटेल में देखने वाले हैं, सारे सब्जेक्ट्स के लिए देखने वाले हैं। बट उसके पहले मैं आपको एक चीज़ बता दूं, मेड इज गोइंग टू लॉन्च एडवांस रैंकर्स बैच फॉर दोज स्टूडेंट्स हु आर रेडी टू डेडिकेट देमसेल्व्स फॉर ESE एंड गेट प्रिपरेशन। और ये जो एडवांस रैंकर्स बैच है, इसकी एक खासियत है कि ये नॉट फॉर एवरीवन, दिस बैच इज़ फॉर दोज स्टूडेंट्स जो बिल्कुल अपने आप को डेडिकेट कर रहे हैं प्रिपरेशन के लिए और एग्ज़ाम को क्रैक करने के लिए। ओके, अगर आप अपने फेस्टिवल्स को सेक्रीफाइस करना चाहते हैं और अपने आप को प्रूव करना चाहते हैं और एक चैलेंज एक्सेप्ट करना चाहते हैं और अपनी लाइफ में एक्सेल करना चाहते हैं, आपने सब्जेक्ट एक बार बेसिक्स पूरी अच्छी तरह से पढ़ लिया है और आप अपने रैंक को, गेट के रैंक को इम्प्रूव करना चाहते हैं और ESE में एक अच्छा परफॉर्मेंस करना चाहते हैं, तो उसके लिए एडवांस रैंकर्स बैच ज़रूर ज्वाइन करें। अगर मैं थोड़ा डिटेल में बताऊं तो ये 32 वीक्स का कोर्स होगा, मतलब 30 से 32 वीक्स का कोर्स होगा, जिसमें आपको दो तरह के बैचेज होंगे। ये जो बैचेज हैं ये लाइव ऑनलाइन बैचेज होंगे। दो तरह के कोर्सेज हैं, गेट प्लस ESE कोर्स एंड ओनली गेट कोर्स। फॉर गेट प्लस ESE कोर्स आप दो तरह के सेशंस अटेंड करेंगे जो कि लाइव ऑनलाइन होगा। एक होगा टेक्निकल सेशन, दूसरा होगा GS का सेशन। टेक्निकल सेशन में जो टेक्निकल के सब्जेक्ट्स हैं उनके जो एडवांस लेवल के क्वेश्चंस हैं, जिनका लेवल काफ़ी डिफ़िकल्ट होता है, बिल्कुल एक्स्ट्रा ऑर्डिनरी होता है, वो हम लोग क्लास में डिटेल में सॉल्व कराएंगे। और एक पॉइंट और है, ये जो क्वेश्चंस हैं ये हम लोगों ने सिलेक्ट किए हैं और स्टैंडर्ड बुक से सिलेक्ट किए हैं, जिनका लेवल काफ़ी अच्छा है, जिससे आपका कॉन्सेप्ट इम्प्रूव होगा और आप फर्दर एक्सेल करेंगे ईच एंड एवरी टेक्निकल सब्जेक्ट में। एज वेल एज अगर आप GS वाला कोर्स भी ज्वाइन कर रहे हैं तो GS वाले कोर्स में आपको जो एडवांस प्रैक्टिस क्वेश्चन सेट्स हैं और एडवांस प्रैक्टिस टेस्ट सीरीज़ है वो भी मिलेगी। तो ESE प्लस गेट वाले में टेक्निकल सेशन भी मिलेगा और नॉन टेक मतलब GS पेपर 1 के जो 10 सब्जेक्ट्स हैं GS के वो मिलेंगे। दूसरा जो कोर्स है वो ओनली फॉर गेट स्टूडेंट्स है, मतलब अगर आप गेट का प्रिपरेशन कर रहे हैं और आप अपने रैंक को इम्प्रूव करना चाहते हैं तो आपको एडवांस रैंकर्स बैच ओनली गेट वाला कोर्स ज्वाइन करना है, ठीक है। और इसमें वो सारे मॉड्यूल्स हैं जो मैं मॉड्यूल्स मैंने ESE प्लस गेट में बताया, बट ओनली वन डिफरेंस यहाँ पर, क्योंकि ये गेट का कोर्स होगा तो इसमें GS वाले पार्ट नहीं होंगे। मतलब यहाँ पर एडवांस टेस्ट सीरीज होगा, फिर पर्सनलाइज्ड सेशन होगा, डाउट सेशन होगा, स्पेशल फोकस होगा आप स्टूडेंट्स पर, और जो डिफ़िकल्ट लेवल के क्वेश्चंस होंगे, एक्स्ट्रा ऑर्डिनरी लेवल के क्वेश्चंस होंगे ईच एंड एवरी टेक्निकल सब्जेक्ट में, वो यहाँ पर हम लोग कराएंगे। तो एडवांस रैंकर्स बैच में लाइव क्लासेस होगा हम सारे फैकल्टीज से, जो मेडिजी के एक्सपीरियंस फैकल्टीज़ हैं। एक्सक्लूसिव कवरेज होगा टेक्निकल गेट के लिए और ESE प्लस गेट दोनों के लिए। फिर इसके साथ डाउट सेशन भी है, एडवांस लर्निंग प्रैक्टिस शीट भी आपको मिलेगी। फिर उसके बाद जो GS का सब्जेक्ट होगा वो भी होगा, ओके। बट जो GS वाला पार्ट है दैट इज़ फॉर गेट प्लस ESE एडवांस रैंकर्स बैच। और अगर गेट का ओनली गेट एडवांस रैंकर्स बैच है तो उसमें GS का पार्ट नहीं होगा, बस केवल टेक्निकल सेशंस होंगे और उसके एडवांस प्रैक्टिस शीट होंगे, उसके एडवांस टेस्ट सीरीज होंगे और उसमें जो डाउट सेशन होगा वो पर्सनलाइज्ड होगा, ठीक है। अभी हम लोग ESE 2025 का जो प्री का पेपर आज हुआ है उसके सॉल्यूशंस की ओर चलते हैं। ठीक है, तो सबसे पहले सिग्नल एंड सिस्टम के क्वेश्चंस को सॉल्व करता हूँ, ओके, वन बाय वन, ठीक है। सो स्टेटमेंट 1, so in this question what is the statement? BIBO stands for bounded input, bounded output. The meaning of word bounded is some finite value. तो ये स्टेटमेंट 1 और स्टेटमेंट 2 वाले क्वेश्चंस है, मतलब इसमें 4 ऑप्शंस होंगे जिसमें हमें चेक करके बताना होगा कि आउट ऑफ 4 ऑप्शंस कौन से ऑप्शंस करेक्ट हैं, ठीक है। इसमें स्टेटमेंट 1 इज़ करेक्ट बिकॉज BIBO क्राइटेरिया में बाउंडेड वर्ड का मतलब होता है फाइनाइट इन एम्पलीट्यूड, so statement 1 is correct. What about statement 2? A system is said to be stable if it follows BIBO principle. It means every bounded input produces bounded output. So this statement is correct because this statement is representing behavior criteria. But यहाँ पर एक point है कि ये जो statement 1 है, that this statement and statement 2 that is independent. Independent मतलब statement 1 और 2 correct तो है, but statement 2 is not the correct explanation for statement 1. मतलब statement 2 is not the reason for statement 1. Okay, so these two statements are correct, but statement 2 is not the reason for statement 1. So that is why option B is the answer. So for this question, what is the answer? Option B. तो बेटा इस क्वेश्चन के लिए कौन सा ऑप्शन आंसर है? ऑप्शन बी. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन की ओर चलते हैं. सो नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन, द फूरियर ट्रांसफॉर्म ऑफ यूनिट स्टेप फंक्शन ut इज. तो ut का फूरियर ट्रांसफॉर्म क्या होता है? पाई डेल्टा ओमेगा प्लस 1/j ओमेगा. सो व्हाट इज द फूरियर ट्रांसफॉर्म ऑफ स्टेप सिग्नल ut? 1/j ओमेगा प्लस पाई डेल्टा ओमेगा. तो कौन सा ऑप्शन करेक्ट है? ऑप्शन सी. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन की ओर चलते हैं. सो नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज लाइक दिस, कंसिडर द फॉलोइंग सिग्नल्स. x1t इज गिवन 10 cos 100 pi t, x2t is given 10 cos 50 pi t. फिर इन दोनों को सैंपल करना है. व्हाट इज द सैम्पलिंग रेट? 75 हर्ट्ज. द सैम्पल्ड सिग्नल x1n एंड x2n. तो इन दोनों सिग्नल्स को सैंपल करना है 75 हर्ट्ज के रेट से और बताना है x1n और x2n ये दोनों सिग्नल्स डिस्क्रीट में क्या होंगे. सो सपोज वी हैव टू कैलकुलेट x1n. सो इट इज इक्वल टू x1t at t equal to n ts. So it is equal to n by fs. So fs is how much? Sampling rate कितना है? Sampling rate is 75. ठीक है, तो x1t में t को आप रिप्लेस करो, n by 75 से x1n मिलेगा. ठीक है, x1t 10 cos 100 pi t. तो t को रिप्लेस करो n by 75 से, तो आप लिखते 10 cos 4 pi by 3n. Now in case of discrete sinusoid, if frequency omega naught is greater than pi, then we have to convert that sinusoid into a new sinusoid with frequency less than pi. And for conversion, we are going to use this relationship, cos omega naught n will be equal to cos 2 pi minus omega naught into n. And this will be applicable if omega naught is greater than pi. अब आप यहाँ पर देखो ओमेगा नॉट की वैल्यू क्या है? पाई से ज़्यादा है, तो इसको लेस देन पाई वाले साइनोसाइड में कन्वर्ट करना है. कन्वर्जन का फॉर्मूला मैंने बताया, आप उसको लगाओ 10 cos 4 pi by 3. तो ओमेगा नॉट कितना है? 4 pi by 3. तो आप लिखते हैं 2 pi minus 4 pi by 3n. So this is equal to 10 cos 2 pi by 3n. तो x1n कितना आया? यहाँ मैंने लिखा है 10 cos 2 pi by 3n. Now we have to calculate x2n. सेम मेथड है बेटा. x2t में t को किससे रिप्लेस करोगे? nts से, और ts को रिप्लेस करो 1 बाई सैम्पलिंग रेट से. सो हाउ मच इज दी सैम्पलिंग रेट? 75 हर्ट्ज. ठीक है, ओके. अब इसके बाद x2t भी गिवन है. x2t इज हाउ मच? 10 cos 50 pi t. t को रिप्लेस करो n बाई fs से. fs इज हाउ मच? 75. तो कितना आया? 10 cos 2 pi by 3n. No need to convert here this sinusoid because frequency is already less than pi. So x1n and x2n, these two signals are same in case of discrete, and both of these signals are 10 cos 2 pi by 3n. So what is the correct answer? Option A. Next question की ओर चलते हैं. So let's see next question क्या है. When the Fourier transform and inverse Fourier transform equations are similar. ठीक है, तो Fourier transform और inverse Fourier transform ये दोनों इक्वेशंस अगर सिमिलर हैं बट नॉट क्वाइट आइडेंटिकल, अगर ये सिमिलर हैं बट नॉट क्वाइट आइडेंटिकल, देन दिस सिमेट्रिसिटी लीड्स टू अ प्रॉपर्टी कॉल्ड, अब इनमें से कौन सा प्रॉपर्टी है? ड्यूलिटी। तो ड्यूलिटी में ही ऐसा होता है कि फूरियर ट्रांसफॉर्म और इनवर्स फूरियर ट्रांसफॉर्म दोनों के फॉर्मूले सिमिलर होते हैं। नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन की ओर चलते हैं। इन द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन फॉर एनालॉग सिस्टम ट्रांसफर फंक्शन इज गिवन एंड ट्रांसफर फंक्शन इज 1 अपॉन s+1 होल स्क्वायर। ठीक है, फिर सैम्पलिंग रेट कितना है? सो व्हाट इज टी? टी इज सैम्पलिंग रेट, सैम्पलिंग रेट इज 0.1 सेकेंड and for conversion of analog to digital filter we have to use bilinear transformation method and we have to calculate transfer function of digital filter or digital system। तो एनालॉग फिल्टर का ट्रांसफर फंक्शन गिवन है, कन्वर्ट करना है डिजिटल फिल्टर में, ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन कौन सा यूज़ हो रहा है? बाइलीनियर, और सैम्पलिंग रेट कितना गिवन है? 0.1 सेकेंड। ओके, सो एच ऑफ जेड वी आर गोइंग टू कैलकुलेट by using this method in the transfer function HAS. S will be replaced with 2 by T 1 minus Z inverse upon 1 plus Z inverse। ठीक है, तो बाइलिनियर ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन के थ्रू अगर आप कन्वर्जन करेंगे तो ये फॉर्मूला है। ओके, अच्छा 2 by T, T is how much? 0.1, so 2 by 0.1 is how much? 20। ठीक है, टी को कितना पुट करोगे? 0.1, सो 2 by 0.1 विल बी हाउ मच? 20 इन ब्रैकेट 1 माइनस जेड इनवर्स अपॉन 1 प्लस जेड इनवर्स। ठीक है, एच एस कितना है? 1 अपॉन s+1 होल स्क्वायर। एस को किससे रिप्लेस करोगे? 20 इंटू 1 माइनस जेड इनवर्स अपॉन 1 प्लस जेड इनवर्स। ठीक है, साथ में क्या है? +1 एंड होल स्क्वायर। अब इसको सिंप्लीफाई करना है, तो जब आप इसको सिंप्लीफाई करेंगे तो एक्सप्रेशन कुछ ऐसा आएगा, 1 अपॉन 20 इंटू 1 माइनस जेड इनवर्स प्लस 1 प्लस जेड इनवर्स होल स्क्वायर, फिर 1 प्लस जेड इनवर्स होल स्क्वायर ये न्यूमरेटर में जाएगा, तो 1 प्लस जेड इनवर्स होल स्क्वायर। ठीक है, तो 1 प्लस जेड इनवर्स होल स्क्वायर डिवाइडेड बाई, अब इसको आप सिंप्लीफाई करो, 20 प्लस 1 हाउ मच? 21। फिर अगर आप देखो -20 जेड इनवर्स है प्लस जेड इनवर्स है, मतलब -19 जेड इनवर्स होल स्क्वायर। ठीक है, 21 को आप बाहर लेकर के आओ तो आप क्या लिखते हैं? 21 होल स्क्वायर। ठीक है, रिमेनिंग टर्म क्या होगा? 1 माइनस 19 बाई 21 जेड इनवर्स होल स्क्वायर। न्यूमरेटर में क्या है? 1 प्लस जेड इनवर्स होल स्क्वायर। ठीक है, इसको थोड़ा सा सिंप्लीफाई और करते हैं, तो 1/21 होल स्क्वायर, 1/21 होल स्क्वायर, 1/21 होल स्क्वायर इट विल बी 0.0022 इंटू 1 प्लस जेड इनवर्स स्क्वायर। तो 1/21 होल स्क्वायर कितना होगा? 0.0022। ओके, और 19/21, तो 19/21 कितना आएगा? 0.9048। फिर इसके बाद जेड इनवर्स है, देन जेड इनवर्स, स्क्वायर है तो स्क्वायर। तो हमने एच ऑफ जेड कैलकुलेट कर लिया, मतलब डिजिटल फिल्टर का ट्रांसफर फंक्शन कैलकुलेट कर लिया। अब अगर आप इन 4 ऑप्शंस में मैच करो तो जो ऑप्शंस काफ़ी नियर टू आवर आंसर है वो है ऑप्शन डी। ऑप्शन डी मतलब इस क्वेश्चन में अगर आप देखें तो ऑप्शन डी में करेक्शन नीडेड है, मतलब यहाँ जो आंसर है इस आंसर में थोड़ा चेंज करना है, बट बाकी के ऑप्शंस अगर आप देखो तो ये दूर दूर तक मैच ही नहीं हो रहे हैं। सो दैट इज़ वाई आंसर विल बी ऑप्शन डी, बट ऑप्शन डी नीड्स करेक्शन। ठीक है, नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन पर आते हैं। क्वेश्चन नंबर 50, विच वन ऑफ द फॉलोइंग सिस्टम कैन बी रिप्रेजेंटेड बाय द गिवन जनरल डिफरेंस इक्वेशन। तो एक सिस्टम का डिफरेंस इक्वेशन गिवन है। अब ये डिफरेंस इक्वेशन कौन सा सिस्टम है? तो दोस्तों ये सिस्टम है LTI। सो दिस सिस्टम इज डिस्क्रीट टाइम LTI सिस्टम एंड दिस डिफरेंस इक्वेशन इज रिप्रेजेंटिंग डिस्क्रीट टाइम लीनियर टाइम इनवेरिएंट सिस्टम। सो व्हाट इज द करेक्ट आंसर? आंसर इज ऑप्शन सी। नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन की ओर चलते हैं। what is the convolution? Question number 51 है, what is the convolution of the given two sequences? First sequence is e की power minus n square for all n and second sequence is hn is 3n square for all n. ठीक है, अब इन दोनों सीक्वेंसेस का रिजल्टेंट कन्वोल्यूशन क्या होगा? 4 ऑप्शंस गिवन है. ओके, सो सपोज रिजल्टेंट फंक्शन इज yn, सो yn इज कन्वोल्यूशन ऑफ xn एंड hn. ठीक है, अच्छा अब आप एक चीज़ ऑब्जर्व करो, x of n is an even signal, h of n is also even signal, so convolution of two even signals will be also even. It means signal yn will be guaranteed even signal. अब अगर आप देखो तो ऐसे कौन कौन से ऑप्शंस हैं जो कि इवन हैं और वेरिएबल n के साथ वेरी हो रहे हैं. ओके, सो ऑप्शन ए एंड डी, इन दोनों में से कोई आंसर है. ऑप्शन सी हो ही नहीं सकता है बिकॉज ऑप्शन सी इज कांस्टेंट एंड हियर फंक्शन विल बी द फंक्शन ऑफ वेरिएबल n. ओके, मतलब जो भी आउटपुट मिलेगा, जो भी फंक्शन आएगा वो वेरिएबल n का फंक्शन होगा. तो ऑप्शन सी तो हो नहीं सकता है. फिर ए या डी में से आंसर है वाई, बिकॉज दिस टू ऑप्शंस आर वैरिंग विथ रेस्पेक्ट टू वेरिएबल n एज वेल एज दे आर इवन ऑल्सो. अब इन दोनों में से कौन सा आंसर है यह हमें फाइंड आउट करना है. तो मैं एक प्रॉपर्टी यहाँ पर बताता हूँ. आप अगर y0 कैलकुलेट करोगे देन y0 विल बी इक्वल टू समेशन xn समेशन, एक मिनट, अच्छा डिस्क्रीट टाइम कन्वोल्यूशन का अगर मैं फॉर्मूला लिखूं तो मैं क्या लिखता? समेशन x ऑफ k इंटू h ऑफ n माइनस k रेंज ऑफ k माइनस इन्फानाइट टू इन्फानाइट. तो बेटा इसमें आप पुट करो तो आप क्या लिखते? समेशन माइनस इन्फानाइट टू इन्फानाइट x ऑफ k. तो x ऑफ k से क्या लिखते? e की पावर माइनस k स्क्वायर. h ऑफ n माइनस k आप क्या लिखते? 3 इंटू n माइनस k होल स्क्वायर. तो अभी हमने क्या लिखा है? y ऑफ n. ओके, अभी इसे सिंप्लीफाई करने में टाइम लगेगा तो इसका भी एक शॉर्टकट है कि हम लोग सिंप्लीफाई तो नहीं करेंगे बट n इक्वल टू 0 का सैम्पल तो कैलकुलेट कर सकते हैं. आप इस समेशन में n को क्या पुट करो? 0. तो समेशन माइनस इन्फानाइट टू इन्फानाइट e की पावर माइनस k स्क्वायर इंटू 3, n को 0 पुट करो, माइनस k होल स्क्वायर विल बी 3k स्क्वायर. इस समेशन को आप कैलकुलेट करोगे तो इसका न्यूमेरिकल वैल्यू आता है 3√π/2. इसका न्यूमेरिकल वैल्यू आएगा 3√π/2. ओके, तो मैथमेटिक्स का कॉन्सेप्ट आपको यूज़ यहाँ पर करना है. कॉन्सेप्ट आप यूज़ करोगे तो वैल्यू कितना आएगा? 3√π/2 और ये न्यूमेरिकल वैल्यू अप्रॉक्सीमेटली है 2.65. मतलब yn n इक्वल टू 0 पर कितना आएगा? 2.65. अब आप इन दोनों ऑप्शंस में चेक करो, दोनों में n को 0 पुट करो तो n इक्वल टू 0 पर इधर से 1.5 आएगा. इट मीन्स ऑप्शन ए इज़ नॉट द आंसर. और डी में अगर n इक्वल टू 0 पुट करो देन दिस टर्म विल बी 0 एंड y0 विल बी 2.65. इट मीन्स व्हाट इज द करेक्ट आंसर? ऑप्शन डी. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन की ओर चलते हैं. ओके, so a transfer function of a linear time invariant system is defined to be the ratio of the Laplace transform of. मतलब ट्रांसफर फंक्शन एज पर द डेफिनेशन रेशियो किसका है और कंडीशन क्या है? इट इज़ द आउटपुट वेरिएबल टू द Laplace transform of input variable under the assumption that all the initial conditions are 0. So ऑप्शन ए इज़ द करेक्ट आंसर, क्योंकि ऑप्शन ए में एग्जैक्टली वही डेफिनेशन है जो हमने क्लासरूम में देखा है. क्लासरूम में हमने यही डेफिनेशन लिखा था कि ट्रांसफर फंक्शन इज द रेशियो ऑफ लैप्लास ट्रांसफॉर्म ऑफ आउटपुट टू लैप्लास ट्रांसफॉर्म ऑफ इनपुट व्हेन ऑल द इनिशियल कंडीशंस आर 0. सो व्हाट इज द करेक्ट आंसर? ऑप्शन ए. ठीक है, नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन की ओर चलते हैं. ओके, so in the next question differential equation is given. So for this system what is given? Differential equation is given and we have to find out transfer function of system. So to find out the transfer function what we have to do? We have to apply Laplace transform on the differential equation. तो Laplace transform का ये सवाल है, आप इस पर Laplace transform अप्लाई करेंगे. So for the first term, Laplace will be 3s square c of s. For next term, 5 into s c of s. For next term, Laplace is c of s. For the RHS, for first term, Laplace is r of s, and for second term, by using time shifting property, 3 into r of s e की पावर माइनस 2s. अब यहाँ से रेशियो कैलकुलेट करना है c ऑफ s अपॉन r ऑफ s का. तो आप क्या लिखते हैं, 1 प्लस 3 e की पावर माइनस 2s डिवाइडेड बाई, क्या लिखूँगा मैं, 3s स्क्वायर प्लस 5s प्लस 1. सो वी हैव ऑब्टेन्ड सिस्टम ट्रांसफ़र फंक्शन. तो हमने यहाँ पर जो लिखा है बेटा, ये क्या रिप्रेजेंट कर रहा है, ट्रांसफ़र फंक्शन ऑफ सिस्टम. अब अगर आप चेक करो तो कौन सा ऑप्शन मैच हो रहा है, 1 प्लस 3 e की पावर माइनस 2s अपॉन 3s स्क्वायर प्लस 5s प्लस 1. मतलब कौन सा आंसर है, ऑप्शन सी. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन की ओर चलते हैं. क्वेश्चन नंबर 57. द लैप्लास ट्रांसफॉर्म ऑफ द फंक्शन f of t, एंड व्हाट इज f of t, t की पावर n e की पावर माइनस 80 इज. हमें इस फंक्शन का क्या लिखना है, लैप्लास. ठीक है, सबसे पहले आप t की पावर n का लैप्लास लिखो. यहाँ पर ut मल्टीप्लाइड नहीं है, सो वी हैव टू अज्यूम दैट दिस फंक्शन इज t की पावर n e की पावर माइनस 80 इंटू ut. ओके, तो इसमें आपको अज्यूम कर रहा होगा कि फंक्शन में क्या मल्टीप्लाइड है, ut. नाउ दिस इज अ स्टैंडर्ड सिग्नल. फॉर दिस सिग्नल वी हैव ऑलरेडी रिटन लैप्लास फैक्टोरियल n अपॉन s की पावर n प्लस 1, s की पावर n प्लस 1. ये हमने क्लास में देखा है. अब आप इसको मल्टीप्लाई कैसे करोगे, e की पावर माइनस 80 से, e की पावर माइनस 80 से. तो आपको कौन सी प्रॉपर्टी यूज़ करनी है, फ्रीक्वेंसी शिफ्टिंग प्रॉपर्टी. सो व्हाट वी हैव टू डू, in the Laplace transform we have to replace with s plus a. तो Laplace transform में s को किससे रिप्लेस करोगे, s प्लस a से. तो आप लिखते फैक्टोरियल n अपॉन s प्लस a की पावर n प्लस 1. So this is the desired Laplace f of s, because this was the given signal f of t. अब अगर हम लोग चेक करें कौन सा ऑप्शन मैच हो रहा है, तो फैक्टोरियल n अपॉन s प्लस a होल पावर n प्लस 1. तो कौन सा ऑप्शन आंसर है, ऑप्शन ए. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन की ओर चलते हैं. So next question is by applying, and by the way this question is question number 70. By applying the time shifting property, what is the Z transform of the following signal? तो Z transform, what is the inverse Z transform of the following signal? Actually इस क्वेश्चन में थोड़ा करेक्शन है. यहाँ पर what is the inverse Z transform. ठीक है, ESE में थोड़ा सा प्रिंटिंग मिस्टेक होता है, थोड़ा सा न्यूमेरिकल भी कहीं मिस्टेक होता है. वो हमने देखा एक क्वेश्चन के ऑप्शन डी में मिस्टेक था, जिसे हमने करेक्ट भी किया है. ठीक है, तो हमें गिवन Z ट्रांसफॉर्म का इन्वर्स लिखना है. ओके, सो फॉर 3 की पावर n un, व्हाट इज द Z ट्रांसफॉर्म. ये तो स्टैंडर्ड सिग्नल है. Z ट्रांसफॉर्म क्या, 1 अपॉन 1 माइनस 3Z इन्वर्स. ठीक है, अब आपने n को रिप्लेस किया n माइनस 1 से. देन विच प्रॉपर्टी यू आर गोइंग टू यूज़, टाइम शिफ्टिंग प्रॉपर्टी. आपको कौन सा प्रॉपर्टी यूज़ करना है, टाइम शिफ्टिंग प्रॉपर्टी ऑफ लैप्लास. ठीक है, इसके लिए आप क्या करोगे, पहले तो फंक्शन लिख देता हूँ, 3 की पावर n माइनस 1 u ऑफ n माइनस 1. ठीक है, इसके लिए ट्रांसफॉर्म में आप मल्टीप्लाई करोगे z इन्वर्स का टर्म. तो ये जो ट्रांसफॉर्म आप देख रहे हैं, इसमें कौन सा टर्म मल्टीप्लाई करोगे, z इन्वर्स का. ठीक है, शॉर्ट फॉर्म में लिख देता हूँ, सपोज फॉर f ऑफ n z ट्रांसफॉर्म इज f ऑफ z. एक मिनट. ठीक है, ओके, फॉर f ऑफ n सपोज दैट ट्रांसफॉर्म इज f ऑफ z. Then for f of n minus n naught, transform will be z की पावर माइनस n naught into f of z. ये कौन सी प्रॉपर्टी है बेटा, टाइम शिफ्टिंग प्रॉपर्टी. तो आप अगर देखो तो यही तो गिवन ट्रांसफॉर्म है एंड दिस ट्रांसफॉर्म इज एक्स ऑफ जेड. So whatever we have written in the LHS, this function will represent the desired signal x of n. अब अगर आप चेक करो तो कौन सा ऑप्शन मैच हो रहा है, ऑप्शन डी. सो व्हाट इज द करेक्ट आंसर, ऑप्शन डी. ठीक है, नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन पर चलते हैं. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन पर चलते हैं. ओके, तो इसके बाद एक मिनट, नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. ओके, क्वेश्चन नंबर 70 तक तो हमने कर लिया. आई थिंक हमने ये पार्ट कंप्लीट कर लिया है. ओके, तो एक मिनट चेक कर लो. ठीक है, 70 के बाद 71 है. ओके, 70 के बाद नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन है 71. ओके, द रिलेशनशिप बिटवीन द यूनिट स्टेप एंड डेल्टा फंक्शन इज. ओके, तो यूटी और डेल्टा टी का रिलेशनशिप बताना है. सो दिस इज द रिलेशनशिप. इंटीग्रेशन माइनस इन्फानाइट टू टी डेल टी डी टी विल बी इक्वल टू यू टी. तो इम्पल्स का इंटीग्रेशन कौन सा फंक्शन होता है बेटा, स्टेप सिग्नल यू टी. सो आंसर इज ऑप्शन डी. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन पर चलते हैं. क्वेश्चन नंबर 73 एक बार चेक कर लो. ठीक है, हाँ 72 रह गया था. विच वन ऑफ द फॉलोइंग टाइम सिग्नल्स इज सेड टू बी पीरियोडिक विद टाइम पीरियड TP for which the signal is advanced in time and hence the remains unchanged. तो हमें बताना है एज पर दी स्टेटमेंट इसमें से कौन सा सिग्नल है जो एक पीरियोडिक सिग्नल को रिप्रेजेंट कर रहा है, हुज टाइम पीरियड इज व्हाट, TP. ठीक है, अब आप इस नोटेशन को देखो. क्वेश्चन ने बोला है सिग्नल इज पीरियोडिक, सो देयर विल बी ओनली टू ऑप्शंस, आइदर डिस्क्रीट पीरियोडिक सिग्नल और कंटिन्यूअस पीरियोडिक सिग्नल. अब इसमें से आपको सिलेक्ट करना है कि डिस्क्रीट पीरियोडिक है या कंटिन्यूअस पीरियोडिक है. तो आप नोटेशन देखो टाइम पीरियड का. टीपी नोटेशन इज फॉर कंटिन्यूअस पीरियोडिक सिग्नल. ठीक है, तो कंटिन्यूअस पीरियोडिक सिग्नल का जो टाइम पीरियड है वो टीपी से रिप्रेजेंट होता है. बट फॉर डिस्क्रीट पीरियोडिक सिग्नल टाइम पीरियड विल बी रिप्रेजेंटेड बाई कैपिटल एन. बट यहाँ क्या कैपिटल एन गिवन है टाइम पीरियड का नोटेशन, बिल्कुल नहीं. सो दिस फंक्शन इज नॉट डिस्क्रीट पीरियोडिक. तो फिर फंक्शन क्या है, कंटिन्यूअस पीरियोडिक. सो व्हाट इज द आंसर, कंटिन्यूअस पीरियोडिक सिग्नल. इट मीन्स विच ऑप्शन इज द आंसर, ऑप्शन सी. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन की ओर चलते हैं. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन, क्वेश्चन नंबर 73. कंसिडर अ कंटिन्यूअस टाइम सिस्टम विथ इनपुट xt एंड आउटपुट yt. व्हाट इज द रिलेशनशिप, yt इक्वल टू x ऑफ साइन t. अब हमें बताना है द सिस्टम इज कॉजल, नॉन कॉजल, इन्वर्टिबल, टाइम वेरिएंट. सबसे पहले आप इस रिलेशनशिप में t को माइनस पाई पुट करो. तो आप क्या लिखते, y ऑफ माइनस पाई विल बी इक्वल टू x ऑफ साइन ऑफ माइनस पाई. ओके, नाउ व्हाट इज द वैल्यू ऑफ साइन ऑफ माइनस पाई, 0. So for minus pi second output, minus pi second output is depending on 0 second input. तो माइनस पाई सेकेंड का आउटपुट 0 सेकेंड के इनपुट पर डिपेंडेंट है. इट मीन्स फॉर दिस आउटपुट दिस इनपुट अप्लाइड इनपुट इज फ्यूचर इनपुट. सो फॉर द आउटपुट दैट वी हैव रिटन हियर दिस इनपुट इज फ्यूचर इनपुट. ओके, सो इन दिस सिस्टम आउटपुट इज ऑल्सो डिपेंडिंग ऑन फ्यूचर इनपुट. तो अगर आउटपुट इनपुट के फ्यूचर वैल्यू पर डिपेंडेंट है तो सिस्टम कौन सा होता है, नॉन कॉजल. सो दैट इज वाई दिस सिस्टम इज नॉन कॉजल. ठीक है, ये क्लास में डिटेल में बताया और सेम क्वेश्चन क्लास में कराया है. तो वाई टी इक्वल टू एक्स ऑफ साइन टी सेम क्वेश्चन क्लास में कराया था, हमने चेक किया था इसी तरह पुट करके. तो अभी जो भी आउटपुट आया माइनस पाई सेकेंड का जो आउटपुट है उसके लिए जो 0 सेकेंड का इनपुट है फ्यूचर इनपुट है. और टाइम के किसी भी इंस्टेंट पर अगर आउटपुट इनपुट के फ्यूचर वैल्यू पर डिपेंड कर गया तो सिस्टम होगा नॉन कॉजल. बट दिस सिस्टम इज टाइम वेरिएंट ऑल्सो. ये भी क्लास में बताया था. इफ इन द इनपुट आउटपुट रिलेशनशिप इफ देयर इज टाइम स्केलिंग देन सिस्टम विल बी टाइम वेरिएंट. तो अगर यहाँ पर देखें दिस इज ए केस ऑफ टाइम स्केलिंग. वाई, बिकॉज दिस वेरिएबिलिटी इज स्केल्ड बाय ऑपरेटर साइन. तो x के अंदर जो t है या y के अंदर जो t है उस पर कोई भी ऑपरेटर ऑपरेट हो गया तो वो टाइम स्केलिंग का केस होता है. और टाइम स्केलिंग के सारे केसेस में सिस्टम कैसा होता है, टाइम वेरिएंट. ओके, तो इस क्वेश्चन में भी थोड़े करेक्शन की रिक्वायरमेंट है. ESE में ये जो क्वेश्चन सेट किया गया है इसमें दो ऑप्शंस करेक्ट आंसर्स हैं, ऑप्शन बी एंड ऑप्शन डी। ठीक है, ओके आगे बढ़ते हैं। बाय द वे ESE में जो क्वेश्चंस आते हैं वो MCQ होते हैं, मतलब आउट ऑफ 4 ओनली 1 ऑप्शन शुड बी करेक्ट, बट इस क्वेश्चन में करेक्शन की रिक्वायरमेंट है। मैंने आपको बता दिया कि बी भी करेक्ट है और डी भी करेक्ट है। ओके नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन की ओर चलते हैं। क्वेश्चन नंबर 74, in the Fourier series representation the condition for even symmetricity is, so what is the condition for even symmetricity? Xt should be equal to x of minus t. So this is very easy question. So what is the correct answer? Option A. Next question की ओर चलते हैं। Next question, question number 75, consider that the signal xt is given, क्या है देखते हैं। 10 cos 2 pi 1000 t plus 5 cos 2 pi 5000 t is to be sampled, the Nyquist rate is, तो बेटा इस क्वेश्चन में करना क्या है, Nyquist रेट कैलकुलेट करना है। ओके सो फॉर द फर्स्ट सिग्नल, इस सिग्नल में दो पार्ट हैं। इन द फर्स्ट पार्ट फ्रीक्वेंसी इज 1000 हर्ट्ज, इन द सेकेंड पार्ट व्हाट इज द फ्रीक्वेंसी 5000 हर्ट्ज। So out of these two frequency, which one is the maximum frequency? 5000 hertz. So what is the maximum frequency? 5000 hertz. It means 5 kilohertz. And what we have to calculate? Nyquist rate. So F Nyquist is given by which formula? Twice of FM. मतलब FM को maximum frequency को 2 से multiply करेंगे आप. So 2 into 5 will be how much? 10 kilohertz. तो बेटा Nyquist रेट कितना आया? 10 किलोहर्ट्ज। चेक करिए आप कौन सा ऑप्शन मैच हो रहा है, ऑप्शन बी। तो व्हाट इज द करेक्ट आंसर? ऑप्शन बी। नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन की ओर चलते हैं। ओके तो हमने सिग्नल सिस्टम के सारे क्वेश्चंस कंप्लीट कर लिए हैं। अब थोड़ी देर में नेक्स्ट सब्जेक्ट के क्वेश्चंस हम लोग देखेंगे। सो प्लीज़ स्टे ट्यून्ड, आप बने रहिएगा। अभी 5 to 10 सेकेंड्स का ब्रेक होगा, बट उसके बाद न्यू सब्जेक्ट के जो क्वेश्चंस होंगे वो सॉल्व किए जाएंगे। सो कीप वॉचिंग एंड वेट।
So, hi dear students, I hope you have written the exam well. Myself Addada Rajkumar and my colleague Iftikhar sir, we both are going to deal n-log questions. Okay, please check your answers. So, first of all, we got around 14 questions in electrical engineering. So, how is the paper, sir? How you are
all the questions are like on the easy level, and we discuss all those type of questions in the classroom.
Yeah.
Yes.
We are happy that whatever the questions we have thought, whatever the concepts we have thought, they are all matching here. So, I hope our students have written very well. So, let us 14 questions are there in analog. First 7 questions I will deal, remaining 7 questions my colleague Iftikhar sir will deal.
Yes,
Okay?
sir. Please carry on.
So, yeah, question number 76 you can check the answer. He is talking about ICEO, ICBO concept. This comes in bipolar junction transistor. Generally we have two formulas, ICEO is equal to ICBO into 1 plus beta. This is one formula we have in BJT. Another formula is ICBO divided by 1 minus alpha. There are two types of answers here, but according to the question this answer is matching, and in that ICBO and IC0 both are same. We generally denote IC0 as ICBO. Okay. So, for this our answer will be option A is correct answer. Yeah, this is the first answer, option A. Please next slide. Question number 77. In this question, if you see which of the following represents the level of energy in level of energy in valence electrons. Valence electrons in valence band they will be there, they will not be in conduction band because they will be attracting by the nucleus. So, it is a very simple question. Option, you can take option A is correct answer. Color near. So, option A will be correct here because valence electrons will be in valence band. Simple question it is. Yeah, next question, sir. Yeah, one more question you can see. Ripples is the variation of output voltage about DC. Generally in half wave rectifier or full wave rectifier, if you compare, half wave rectifier will have more ripples. So, according to this I have seen option C will be the correct answer. Option C will be the correct because quite large in half wave rectifier, because in rectifiers we are getting more ripple in half wave rather than full wave rectifier. So, option C will be the correct answer. Okay. So, the next question, here the concept is about rise times which we see in multi-stage amplifiers. This concept, the rise time he has given, he is asking the bandwidth. We have a formula here, rise time TR is equal to 0.35 divided by bandwidth. This is the basic formula for finding this bandwidth. If you want bandwidth, the answer will be 0.35 divided by TR. Okay. The 0.35 divided by TR he has given how much here? 35 nanoseconds. 35 nanoseconds. If you solve this answer, we are getting around 10 megahertz. I think according to this, option A will be the correct answer. Okay. For this question, option A will be correct answer. Yeah. The next question, he is asking about JFET question. This question is also very fundamentally easy question. He is asking ID value, giving some of the total data for you. VGS he has given, VP has given, IDSS. We have some transfer characteristic equation here in JFET. IDSS into 1 minus VGS divided by VP whole square. Just using this basic equation which is called transfer characteristic equation of JFET, we will get the answer because IDSS he has given 6 milliamperes, VGS is given -2, VP has given -. If you substitute all this answer, my calculation I got around 1.9 milliamperes. So, option B will be the correct answer for this. Okay. The next question will be, it is about concept of feedback he is asking. If the feedback network is purely resistive, then the negative feedback is introduced as a feedback voltage and output voltage V0 are in phase. Whenever the feedback voltage and output voltage are in phase, we call the type of amplifier as non-inverting amplifier. If they are out of phase, we call it as inverting amplifier. So, option B will be the correct answer for this question. Non-inverting amplifiers. Sorry. By mistake I have written this. Yeah. No problem. Option C will be the correct answer. So, option C will be the correct answer, dear students. The next question, this is the last question I think I have to do. 82 is the last question. Yeah. This is the seventh question I am dealing. You can see which one of the following amplifiers transmits the input to the output terminals and is used as a buffer amplifier. In the class, so many times I am telling the best buffer amplifier in BJT we have is common collector amplifier. If it is a MOSFET, we say it is a common drain amplifiers. So, in the question he is asking buffer, so option C will be the correct answer for this common collector amplifier. So, first 7 questions have been completed, remaining 7 questions my friend Iftikhar sir will complete. Okay, sir, I am handovering for you.
Thank you, Rajkumar sir.
Yeah.
Dear students, I hope everybody has done well in all these analog questions. Rajkumar sir has discussed around 7 questions. Remaining questions I will discuss. Okay.
I can do it.
Yeah. Now this question is about in the low frequency range, gain is influenced by coupling capacitor. Then amplifier behaves like this. You know from the frequency response of RC coupled amplifier. If you draw frequency response of RC coupled amplifier, I mean gain versus frequency, then the overall graph it will be in this shape. At low frequencies gain will decrease, medium frequencies gain is constant, and at high frequencies gain will decrease. And then you know this well that coupling capacitors, they will reduce gain at low frequencies, okay. And if there are some picofarad capacitors, they will reduce gain at high frequencies, okay. So what you should remember here is coupling capacitors will decrease the gain at low frequencies. So if I divide this graph into 2 parts, you can say this type of graph happens because of coupling capacitor, and this is nothing but a high pass behavior, okay. Low frequencies getting attenuated, or low frequencies getting less gain, and higher frequencies getting more gain. So this part of the graph looks like high pass response. So for this question what we can tell is at low frequencies RC coupled amplifier will behave like a high pass filter, okay. So the correct answer for this question will be RC high pass filter. Yep. Let us go to the next question. Now this is very easy one. Why we use the word hybrid in H parameter? You know very well H parameter, that H stands for hybrid. And what are the H parameters? H parameters are nothing but your HI, okay, HF, HR and HO. If you look at these parameters, HF is a current gain, it does not have any units, no dimensions, it is current gain, unitless quantity. Then HI is a impedance, it will be having unit of ohms. HR is again reverse voltage gain, it does not have any unit, right. And HO is conductance, it will be having unit of mho. So if you look at these parameters, they are dimensionally dissimilar, okay, and that is why the word hybrid is used, okay. In H parameters the word H signifies hybrid, and we use the word hybrid because these H parameters are dimensionally not similar. Now if you look at the options, option B says units of the 4 parameters are hybrid and do not belong to one physical quantity, okay, and that is the correct explanation, okay. The word hybrid is used because of this second statement, parameters have different units, they are dimensionally dissimilar. We can take answer as B option. Yeah. The next question is about feedback concept, negative feedback concept. An amplifier has open loop gain 1000. If we denote open loop gain with capital A, it is equal to 1000, and that gain is changing by 100 plus minus 100 plus minus 100. If you convert this into percentage, you may get let me write it, delta A divided by A in percentage. It will be like 100 by 1000 into 100, it will become 10% plus minus 10%. So this is percentage change in the gain without feedback. Without feedback gain is changing by 10%, and the question says the gain variation should not be more than 0.1%, okay. I mean with the help of negative feedback we can reduce this variation to 0.1%. Now 0.1% is nothing but delta AF divided by AF, okay, or you can say percentage change 0.1% plus minus 0.1%. This is percentage change in the gain with feedback, and this is percentage change in the gain without feedback. Now we know one formula from the basics of feedback, DAF divided by AF is equal to 1 divided by 1 plus beta A into dA upon A. Okay. If you rearrange, you will get 1 plus beta into A is equal to dA upon A divided by DAF upon AF. Now in this numerator we can put as 10% and denominator we can take as 0.1%. So this is 10 divided by 0.1, it will become 100. So in this problem 1 plus beta A is equal to 100. Now we have to calculate gain with feedback, that is AF. Now for finding gain with feedback, the formula is A divided by 1 plus beta into A, that A is 1000 and 1 plus beta A is 100. So this will become AF equal to 10. So in this problem gain with feedback, it will be equal to 10. So we can take the correct answer as option B. Yeah, the next question, in LC oscillator radio frequency choke is used. Remember, LC oscillators are actually used for radio frequencies. Okay, LC oscillators are called high frequency oscillator or radio frequency oscillator also, and in this LC oscillator we normally connect one radio frequency choke between collector of the BJT and VCC. I am just showing a rough diagram for amplifier part. I have just drawn the amplifier part. In this amplifier, this is your radio frequency choke. It is basically inductor only. We call it RFC because its value will be in such a way that for high frequencies it will offer very high impedance. Okay. For DC it is a short circuit, so DC current will flow from VCC into collector, but for radio frequencies or high frequencies this inductor will offer very high reactance, and by providing a very high reactance it will prevent flow of high frequency current from VCC. Okay. And in that way we can take answer as to prevent high frequency current flowing through the power supply. I hope everybody got the point. RFC will provide high reactance for radio frequencies or high frequencies, so it does not allow the flow of high frequency current in this direction. Okay. So we can take answer as option C. The next question is very easy. It is about sinusoidal oscillator. What is a sinusoidal oscillator? It will have positive feedback, and oscillator means there will be no AC input. Okay. So sinusoidal oscillator is an amplifier having positive feedback and does not require any input, I mean no AC input will be there. So the correct answer will be option C. We can take answer as option C. Fine, this is about op-amp based question. An op-amp has a slew rate 2 volt per microsecond and maximum output is how much? 10 volt. Slew rate is given 2 volt per microsecond, 2 volt per microsecond, and maximum output, that is nothing but Vm, we denote it as Vm, it is equal to 10 volt. And the question says what is maximum frequency for undistorted output. Now in op-amp to get undistorted output we have to satisfy this condition. Okay. The condition is like this: ACL into Vm into omega naught divided by 10 to the power 6 less than or equal to slew rate. That ACL is a closed loop gain. Okay. That closed loop gain, it is not mentioned, so we have to take it as 1. When this ACL value not given, we take it as equal to 1. Then you just rearrange this equation. Omega naught you can put 2 pi into f naught and then rearrange, you will get condition f naught less than or equal to SR into 10 to the power 6 divided by 2 pi into Vm. You can substitute here slew rate how much? 2 into 10 to the power 6 divided by 2 pi into 10, Vm is 10, and if you calculate this, you will get a value almost 32 kilohertz. It comes out as almost 32 kilohertz. So maximum input frequency should be how much? 32 kilohertz. So we can take answer here, option A, 32 kilohertz is the correct answer. Then moving to next question, non-inverting amplifier with the feedback exhibits the characteristics of which amplifier? Now non-inverting amplifier, it has a voltage series feedback, okay. Non-inverting amplifier has voltage series feedback, which is also called voltage amplifier, okay. This you know very well from non-inverting amplifier topic. It is a voltage series feedback and it is also called voltage amplifier. It will have high input impedance, low output impedance, right. So non-inverting amplifier can be called voltage amplifier. So the correct answer is option B. So these were the questions from analog circuits, and I hope Rajkumar sir, our students must have done really well in all these questions.
I am expecting everybody have done well. The questions are very easy. I am very happy for that.
Yeah, thank you and best wishes for the mains paper.
Yeah.
And please wait for the next subject.
All the best, dear students. All the best.
Yeah, best of luck.
Thank you.
Good evening, dear students. This year in the ESE electrical paper from electric circuits, 9 questions have been asked. Come to the first question. देखिए in the first question what is asking, the given network is which one here, RL series circuit, RL series circuit. As per the given question, as per given question we can indicate the figure like this. Now from this one we can understand as a before operating switch no source was connected to the inductor. No source was connected means we can conclude as a T equal 0 minus, a T equal 0 minus, but the current of this one equal how much here, 0. What is the inductor property? It does not allow sudden change of current. It does not allow sudden change of current. Thereby at T equal 0 plus also, at T equal 0 plus also, again the what the current remains same. देखिए क्वेश्चन में क्या पूछ रहे हैं आपको, इज आस्किंग द करंट थ्रू इंडक्टर एट व्हाट इंस्टेंट है, एट टी इक्वल टू 0 प्लस इंस्टेंट, 0 प्लस इंस्टेंट. देन अकॉर्डिंग टू ऑप्शन सर व्हाट द करेक्ट आंसर फॉर दिस वन इज सी. Come to the next one. देखिए now it is a directly memory based question. I hope you remember this one. Question में क्या है, what is asking the symmetrical network conditions. देखो जी y पैरामीटर्स के लिए कंडीशन क्या है इधर, now y11 equal to y22, it is the correct statement only. Whatever it is also correct, but if you come to this one here it is incorrect. That means sir the first two statements are the correct. The first two statements are the correct. It is directly memory based question. Come to the next one. Now what is asking the देखिए how many capacitors are there, 3 capacitors. देखो जी how the 3 capacitors are connected in the series. Now for all the 3 capacitors give the name as some C1, give the name as C2 and give the name as some C3. Now for this circuit what is the given source voltage, what is the given input voltage, how much are 280 volts. Given input voltage is 280 volts. देखिए for the series combination question में क्या पूछ रहे, is asking the charge. Now for this one here first can you find out the respective equivalent capacitance, तीनों के लिए equivalent capacitance निकाल सकते हैं ना. देखिए when the three capacitors are connected in series, what is the formula is a 1 by C equivalent. क्या लिख सकते हैं, 1 by C equivalent equal to 1 by C1 plus 1 by C2 and plus 1 by C3. चेक करो जी, आपको इधर C1 दे दिया, C1 कितना इधर 10 माइक्रोफैरेड, C2 कितना इधर 20 माइक्रोफैरेड, C3 कितना इधर 40. Substitute the respect to C1, C2, C3 values. ये फाइंड आउट करने के बाद what is our basic formula is we can write as C equal Q by V. C equal Q by V. इधर C बोलता C equivalent, Vs बोलता source voltage. Now we can write this with Q equal to C equivalent into Vs. देखो जी as per given information कितना है, source voltage how much है 280. चेक करो जी, substitute करके simplify करो, simplify करने से verify कर लो. Correct answer for this is B. Now it is also standard question. Now in the mesh analysis, what is the one of the formula is a total number of equations equal to total number of meshes. Total number of equations equal to total number of meshes. What is the one more formula for this one is we can write this with a total number of equations equal to b minus of n minus 1. B minus of n minus 1. देखो जी what is the b nothing but number of branches. Then as per given options which was supporting here B. That B is the correct option. Now what is asking the which of the following never dissipate the energy, never dissipate the energy but stores. देखो जी if you come to the capacity, if you come to the given options here, resistor, what is the resistor is a resistor never store the energy, it always dissipates, और question में what is asking the, it is asking never dissipates, but resistor always dissipates, it never stores the energy, Now whatever the condenser, whatever the conductor. Now conductor means again we can conclude as a some resistance is present. The practical conductor has some finite value resistance. When finite value internal resistance then some power dissipation also present. But question में क्या दिया, never dissipates. That's why here as per given options what the correct option for this is a pure capacitor. For pure capacitor के लिए no internal resistance is present. That's why no internal resistance means no dissipation present. It can able to only store the energy. Only store the energy. Now what is our requirement is the ideal voltage source. Ideal voltage source is defined as a, देखो जी ideal voltage source के लिए can you develop the graph like this here. always the V is a constant, V is a constant, that means जो अपना output voltage है ना, it is independent on the load current, independent load current. That's why load current बोलते हो, we can conclude as a independent on the output current, independent on the output current. Remaining questions will be explained by the Naresh sir.
Thank you, sir. The question is, Norton's theorem is states that any two-terminal linear network with the current sources, voltages and resistances can be replaced by an equivalent circuit consisting of. Direct question है, so directly you can replace with a current source in parallel with the resistance or not. Is a RTH or RN and I. So which was the option is current source in parallel with the resistance. Direct question. The option is D is the answer. Next question. Ideal voltage, again question is given repeated same. Ideal voltage source two terminal element in which the voltage source value Vs is independent of current hai. So Vs is completely independent of the current Is through the terminals. This B is a direct answer for this question. Okay. So a circuit consists of voltage source 50 volts and internal resistance of 25 ohms, load connected to the voltage. So the maximum power on the load resistance of 25 ohms. Load resistance is equal to source resistance तो हो गया, directly P max is equal directly use कर सकते हैं ना, P max is equal to VTH means V square by 4 RTH or RL. So just use the formula 50 into 50 upon 4 into RL is 25 ohms. The maximum power is delivered. So you get a 25 watts is the answer for the direct question. So 25 watts is the answer for this question. Okay.
Hello my dear students. So this year in power electronics they have given totally 13 questions. So questions are moderate questions, almost easy questions only. Most of the questions are theoretical based questions. You can easily answer all the questions. So let us go through the first question. Question number 1. Which one of the following commutated converters working on the principle of natural commutation? So here, what do you mean by natural commutation? So natural commutation. So if the nature of the power supply is sinusoidal, AC power supply, so if the nature of the power supply is helping the commutation, that is called natural commutation. So that is nothing but line commutation. Natural commutation is also known as line commutated converters. So answer is option D. Dear students, natural commutation is also known as line commutation. Why it is called line commutation? Nature of the power supply line is AC. That is why it is also called line commutation. That means the supply line is helping the commutation process when the power supply is AC. That is why they are called line commutated converters. Okay. So very easy question. So the next question. In a single phase full wave control rectifier circuit with midpoint configuration, 2 SCRs. So an auto transformer with center tapped secondary windings are employed. So here auto transformer is not required here. So option A is wrong. A 3 phase, actually this is a single phase, so 3 phase transformer is not required. A single phase transformer with center tapped secondary windings are used. So, here in the case of this one primary side, secondary side we have center tapped transformer. So, this is the circuit diagram for midpoint rectifier. I hope you understood circuit diagram for a midpoint rectifier. So, option C is the right answer. And option D, a central tapping transformer with secondary windings are employed. Actually, question option C is the right answer. Okay, option C is the right answer. They did not frame the sentence properly in option D. So, that is why the more appropriate answer is option C. Okay. So, next question. A reverse recovery current of actually a reverse recovery time it is, a reverse recovery time, because they have given 10 microseconds. So, that is why small correction in the question, it is not reverse recovery current, it is reverse recovery time, because in the question they have given the units are 10 microseconds. So, reverse recovery time of a diode is totally 10 microseconds, and the rate of fall of current, that means di by dt. So, di by dt is equal to 200 amperes per microsecond. Okay. What is the stored charge present in this diode? So, if you go through this reverse recovery characters of a diode, just look at this one, anode current, when the diode is switching from on state to off state, okay, anode current decreases to 0, due to recombination negative current passes through the diode. Okay. So, this is the peak reverse current, IRM is the peak reverse current, this is the reverse recovery time. Okay. If you see this interval, we call it as TA, this interval is TA. So, for this graph, if you write di by dt, you can write di by dt is equal to, so during this interval just you take slope of this. So, di by dt is equal to change in current is IRM by TA, IRM by TA. Okay. So, from this I can write IRM is equal to TA times di by dt. Okay. See, in this question they did not mention what is the type of the diode. Okay. So, approximately I can write this equation as IRM is equal to TRR times di by dt, approximately. This formula is applicable approximately, because in this question data is not given to find TRR. So, that is why I have taken approximate equation. I hope you understood. So, from this I can calculate IRM, TRR is equal to 10 microseconds into di by dt is 200 amperes per microseconds, 200 amperes per microseconds. So, microseconds will cancel. So, totally IRM value is 2000 amperes. So, this is the peak value of current. Okay. Now, I want to find out the stored charge present in the diode. Yes, see, stored charge means this total area. So, how do you find this total area? QR is equal to area of the triangle, approximately half into IRM into TRR. So, IRM value is 2000 amperes, reverse recovery time is 10 microseconds. So, just substitute in this formula, IRM is 2000 amperes, into TRR is 10 microseconds. So, if you calculate this, you will be getting 10 millicoulomb. So, the charge is 10 millicoulomb. So, answer to the question number 3 is option A. Option A is the right answer. Just go through this, 10 millicoulomb. Okay? Option A is the right answer. Go through the next question. Next question. The advantage feature of AC drives with a current source DC link. So, what is this current source DC link? See here, current source DC link. What is this current source DC link? I hope you know about the current source inverter. We are adding high inductance. Okay. So, this combination gives DC current source. It appears as DC current source after adding high inductance. I already said in the regular course that inherently there is inductance, high inductance in series with the battery. This high inductance will act as a short circuit protection in the case of current source inverter. So, that is why first option is speed setting range up to 1:100. So, that means we have wide range of speed control. So, there is little bit possibility in this case, but the more appropriate answer is high degree of motor protection. Because of this high inductance, we have high degree of motor protection. So, option B is the appropriate answer. Okay. Of course, we are also having a high range of speed control in this case, but the more appropriate answer is option B. And cost is more here, and the circuit is very complex, structure is very complex in this case, it is not simple. So, the more appropriate answer is option B. Okay. So, the next question. When an AC main is on, rectifier circuit will supply the power to the inverter as well as to the battery. Therefore, it acts as, actually AC main is on, AC main is on, the rectifier circuit will supply power to the inverter, okay, as well as the battery. So, here UPS, this is wrong. Power conditioner, what is power conditioner? In the case of power conditioner, it is used for minimizing the voltage fluctuations. So, that is why it is wrong answer. Static switches, this is also wrong answer. So, answer is option D. Option D is the right answer, okay, for question number 5. Excuse me. The next question number 6. Based on the use of resonant tank, the resonant converters are classified as resonant DC link converters, resonant AC link converters, resonant switch converters, load resonant converters. So, all options are right. So, answer is option A. Option A is the right answer. See, all options are right here, all are right, all are right. We can classify resonant converters into the following things. Okay. So, all options are right. So, option A is the right answer. Then in resonant elements are added to the DC to DC converters, the resulting converters are known as resonant switch converters, resonant switch converters. So, option B is the right answer here. So, we have two types of resonant switch converters. One is we can classify them into zero current switch ZCS and ZVS. So, we have two types, we can classify them, that is nothing but resonant switch converters. So, answer is option B here. Okay. So, the next question is resonant technique power sinusoidal form power switches are often turned off at zero current. See, zero current, that is the right answer, zero current, that is nothing but ZCS. I think we have discussed in the regular course in resonant converters. In resonant converters, the semiconductor switches are switched either at current 0 or voltage 0. So, current 0 is given here. So, option B is the right answer. Okay. The next question, DC to DC converters basically consist of two conversion stages. Normally, see here they have given DC to DC, DC to DC. Actually, for getting a better performance, first we are converting into DC to high frequency AC. So, here we need high frequency switches. So, at high frequency switching losses are more. So, here we use resonant converter concept to minimize the switching losses. Now, high frequency AC again rectified to DC. So, answer is A. See here, first we are switching DC to high frequency AC. At high frequency switching losses will increase. So, here we are using the concept of resonant inverters and converting high frequency AC to DC. So, answer is option A. And here in B, see here we are having AC, that is wrong. See, because we start from DC, initial and final point should be DC. So, okay. And if you compare A and C, A is the appropriate answer, because here they have given DC to AC, but AC to DC, but high frequency operation is required in resonant inverters. So, because of high frequency operation, you can improve the performance of the converter. That is why A is the more appropriate answer, and this is wrong. Okay. And here also they have given AC, so this is also wrong. So, option A is the appropriate answer in this case. The next question, RLC in a series in an SCR circuit. So, here we are having an SCR circuit with RLC elements, for protecting against dV by dt and di by dt. Here R is equal to 4 ohms, L is equal to 6 microhenry, and capacitance value C is equal to 6 microfarad, and the power supply voltage is 300 volts, and we know that in any network, when the switch is closed, at that instant inductor voltage is L into di by dt. Of course, this equation is applicable under any time. In any network, I want to design the value of inductance for di by dt protection. So, we have to design the value of inductance for the worst case. So, for the worst case, di by dt is maximum when voltage across the inductor is maximum. So, maximum VL is equal to L into di by dt maximum. Okay. So, for the worst case in the network, maximum voltage is nothing but the supply voltage. So, for the worst case, maximum voltage is the supply voltage, that is L into maximum di by dt, L into maximum di by dt. So, here this is 300 and the value of L is 6 microhenry, 6 into 10 power minus 6 Henry into maximum di by dt. So, from this if you simplify, so the answer for question number 28. So, what is the value of maximum di by dt? So, maximum di by dt is equal to 300 by 6 into 10 power minus 6, 50 into 10 power 6 amperes per second. So, 50 into 10 power 6 amperes per second. So, option C is the right answer. Okay. So, for question number 28, answer is option C. Okay. Option C. I hope it is very easy question. So, the next question, a 3 kilovolts 750 amperes power electronic circuit. So, this is the string voltage, and this is the total string current and the ratings of SCR. What are the ratings of SCR? 800 volts and 175 amperes. the derating factor is 25%. You know, derating factor is equal to, mathematical expression is 1 minus string efficiency, okay, 1 minus string efficiency. It is 25%, 0.25 is the 1 minus string efficiency. So, therefore, string efficiency is 75%, that is 0.75. And what is the mathematical expression to calculate string efficiency? Mathematical expression is string efficiency is equal to total string voltage divided by total string voltage divided by number of series connected thyristors into individual voltage rating of each SCR. Okay. So, therefore, NS is equal to total string voltage 800 volts, is small correction, total string voltage is 3 kilovolts. See, total string voltage is 3 kilovolts. So, 3 kilovolts. So, three into 10 power 3 by string efficiency 0.75 into individual voltage rating is 800 volts. So, if you calculate this, you will get 5. So, answer to this question is, if you calculate this, option D is the right answer. Okay? Option D is the right answer. So, totally we need 5 thyristors to be connected in series, so that derating factor is 25%. So, I hope calculation part is right. Fine. So, let us go to the next question. This is the last question in power electronics. Depending on the design principles used, gating circuits. Why we use gating circuits? Gating circuits are normally used for thyristor firing circuits. So, what is the appropriate answer? So, this is given transistor, this is wrong, for thyristors. Pulse distribution, actually they did not give in one word, they said, actually they would have said pulse distribution for thyristor circuits. If they gave pulse distribution for thyristor circuit, then this is also right answer, but they did not give whether it is for thyristor or transistor. That is why let us see the more appropriate answer, firing pulses to each thyristor in appropriate region. So, thyristor is given here, thyristor is given here. So, C is the appropriate answer. Okay. So, suppose in this options they would have given pulse distribution for a thyristor, then this is also right answer. So, option C is the appropriate answer in this case. So, dear students, I hope all questions are very clear. I have given the solutions, very easy questions in power electronics. So, all the best my dear students for mains examination. So, thank you very much.
Good evening, friends. Okay, so today engineering services prelims exams completed. Total 15 questions came from power system, total power system syllabus. So now our sir will start the initial questions.
Initial questions
and
from
discussion.
question number 10 to 22. Okay, so in the first question, what it is being given here is it is the combination question. If the capacitance of an overhead line is high, the line draws more charging current, which compensates the cancels the lagging component of the load current. Normally, what is happening is we know that when most of the loads are of inductive in nature, so that is the reason what is happening. The magnetizing current or the lagging current is drawn by the load. Okay, so as the capacitance of the overhead line is being the more, so that is acting as a shunt compensator. So thereby what is happening here is the magnitude of the current is getting reduces. The resultant is flowing in the line is current flowing in the line is reduced. Okay, so that is the thing is both are correct. So second one is the explanation for the first one. So that is the reason what the thing is we have to take the option A is the correct one.
Selection loans. So selection loan already A and C.
Option A is the right answer. Okay, next. Okay, next question is the question number 11. Statement is that one is voltage control and reactive power control are interrelated and need to be therefore considerable together. Okay, so we know one thing is that one is voltage control means what is happening is reactive power control. The moment when the load is getting changes or increasing or decreasing, that impacts the changing in the reactive power. So thereby what is happening is definitely the control of the reactive power is equivalent to the control of the voltage. So that is the reason what is happening is the control of the reactive power will cause the regulation of the voltage. The voltage variation at a load is an indication of the unbalance between the reactive power generated and the absorbed by that load. If the reactive power generated is equal to the absorbed by the load, means that when the source or generator or the line, what amount of the reactive power generated, if exactly equal to the reactive power consumed by the load, then the voltage throughout will be the constant. Okay, so therefore what is happening is there is no change in the voltage. So the voltage is changed means what is happening is there is a mismatch between the reactive power developed or generated to the reactive power consumed. So both are the statements are correct, but what is happening is the second one cannot be taken as the interlinkage of the first one. So that is the reason what is happening is you are taking the option B is the correct one. Next. Which one of the following power plants is suitable for supplying the peak loads? Okay, we know that one is nuclear power plant and steam power plants can be taken as the base load plants, and gas turbine power plant can also be taken as the peak load. But what is happening is more than that one is it can be taken as the intermittent one, but the best option is the hydropower plant. Okay, normally what is happening is in the run-on season what is happening is it is acting as the base load, and run-off season it will act as the peak load. But run-on or run-off irrespective of that one is, so nuclear and steam power plants are acting as the base loads. So therefore what is happening is the best choice is the hydel power plant. Next is that one is the specific rotational speed Ns for a water turbine is, okay, it is the mathematical formula, that is the direct formula, N under root Pt h to the power of 1.25. Okay, Pt is the output in the metric HP, N is the actual rotation speed of the turbine, and H is the specific speed and speed are being the different one. Okay, and likewise what is happening is one more is there that can be called as peripheral speed. These three are different, don't confuse with these three notations. Next, a steam power station of 100 megawatts capacity uses a coal of calorific value 6400 kilocalories per kg. The thermal efficiency of the station is 30% and electrical efficiency is 92%. When the station is working at full load, the coal required per hour will be nearly. So we know one thing is that one is, if you consider that one is efficiency at 100%, we know one thing is that one is 860 kilocalories is required to generate 1 unit of power. 1 unit means what is happening is 1 kilowatt hour. Okay. Now the thing is that is 1 kg of fuel is equal to, okay, how much it will generate here is 6400 divided by this is equal to 860 kilocalories. Okay, so that means that what is happening is 1 kg of coal will generate how much amount of the this one power, that is equal to 7.442 units, that is a kilowatt hour, right. Now the thing is that the efficiency of the plant is equals to, okay, the overall efficiency, because that is the multiplication of the thermal efficiency and as well as the electrical efficiency, that is equals to 0.3 into 0.92, that is equals to 0.276. Now you see one thing is that on a race 800 kilocalories is required to generate the 1 unit to the power at the efficiency of 100%. So at the efficiency of this level, how much amount of the 1 kg of coal will generate how many number of units? So 1 kg of coal will generate how many units of power is, that is equals to 7.442 into what it is 0.276. This is merely 2.0539 units it will generate. Now the thing is that what is happening is output has been given, that means the plant output has been given 100 megawatts, okay, 100 megawatts, it to be converted into units, megawatt hour or kilowatt hour. So if you want to take in the kilowatt hour, that is equal to 10 cube into 1 hour that you take, this equals to 100 into 10 cube units, right. Now the thing is that one is coal required for this generation, you can take it as 100 into 10 power 3 divided by how much it is 2.0539. This is equals to 48.7 tons. So option B is the right choice. This is the solution you can observe. Okay, accordingly you could be able to get this one. I think you observed. Next one is that one is the advantage of supercritical steam power plants are, okay. So here what is happening is, here the three statements has been given, okay, which one above the advantage are correct. Low grade fossil fuels can be used, yes, we can use the coal. Next one is that one is NO2 emissions are completely eliminated, no, it is not correct. NO2 emission can be reduced, it is not possible to eliminate totally, okay. And SO2 emissions are reduced and complete burning of the coal occurs, this is correct, okay. So actually what is happening is a normal power plant say supercritical power plant में फर्क यही होता है, okay. So the thing is that what is happening is NO2 emission in the normal conditions it is very high. Now in this case what is happening is it can be reduced, okay, in this power plant. So that is the reason what is happening is you can select this is the right choice, this is the right choice, this is wrong. So combination of 1 and 3, where it is this one, B is the right answer, right. Next one is a 3-phase 1000 kVA 11 kV alternator has a subtransient reactance of 8%. Okay, if a 3-phase short circuit occurs at its terminals, the fault power will be, we know one thing is that one is you are having the formula MVA SC equal to VPF divided by Z equivalent or X equivalent into what it is MVAB. So here it is pre-fault voltage, by default you have to take it as a 1, okay, because here the thing is that one is the rated voltage as it is being taken as the normal voltage. So that is the reason 1 divided by Z equivalent. Here this is a, okay, this is the subtransient reactance has been given as 8%, okay. So therefore what is happening is 0.08 into base value you have to take as the rated value, that is okay 10,000 kVA is equivalent to 10 MVA. So this is how much it is, this the fraction is 12.5 and 12.5 into this 100, that is equals to 125 MVA, right. So normally the subtransient reactance is in the range of 8% to 15%, okay. So therefore what is happening is you have to observe in that, right. So therefore your answer is A. This is a simple calculation. Next one is the operating time of a static time current relay is, okay. So this is, we know one thing is that one is it is the inverse relay, okay. So here it is, you will be knowing that one is some formulas, M is the time multiple setting, I is the multiple tap current, IP is the multiple tap current at which the pickup occurs, N is the characteristic index or index number, K is the decimal constant of this one is. We know one thing is that one is by changing this index number, we will be saying that one is okay, it is a reverse inverse relay, very inverse relay, extremely inverse relay. Okay, these kind of a classification will come with the changing in the index number n. फिलहाल इसका right answer क्या होता है कि this is the right answer. Okay, answer B is the correct one at the time of operation. Alright, so sir will carry the next portion.
Okay, so this question is from uniformly distributed system feeding from one end. Under this case, you can observe here, he has given this is a uniformly distributed line. So, this line is having a length of 500 meters is given in the question itself, and he has given a voltage, he has applied with a voltage of 220 volts. At each point it has a current of 1 amp is there. So, this is of actually 1 amp or 1 meter, like this you can take, this is actually having up to this 500 meters of length, and the voltage drop for a distance of 400 meters. So, we have derived in the regular class related to this particular part. Suppose this is actually the x, the length is of x, where actually you want to find out for 400 meters of distance, then you want to find out what is the voltage drop up to this value of x. For finding out this voltage of voltage up to the point of x, what you can take, this component is given by, this is the current, mean he has given this data also, the data is given of resistance is given 2 into 10 power minus 5 ohms value. So, that also you can take into the value here. So, you will get this parameters, this is Ri, this is the value of I here, R is given of 2 into 10 power minus 5, and this is actually given by Lx minus x square by 2. So, every data is given, L is 500, R value is 2 into 10 power minus 5, current is 1 amp, and L value is 500, and E is of 400, and this is actually given by 400 square by 2. So, if you solve this, answer for this one you are getting is 2.4 volts. So, answer for this is of D is the answer, you get is 2.4 volts is the answer. Okay, this is how you have to find out the solution for this, and what is asking this one is for up to 400 meters, what is the voltage drop you have to find out. For that simply you can use this simple formula for obtaining this answer. Okay. This is for question number 23. Now, coming to the question number 24, which one of the following distributors is having greater reliability and better flexibility? So, we have studied in regular class, we have the distributor pointer, we are having a radial system, source is feeding from one end, force is feeding from both ends, or ring system or ring main system. Ring main system having more advantage compared to the other systems. So, that answer is what? A is the answer for this question number 24. More reliable and better flexibility. Reliability means if one supply is actually failed, one path is actually failed due to some fault, you can able to get the power supply from the other path. So, it may be power flow can be also flexible from one path to other path, that is which is actually best one is ring main distributor is the best one. Answer is A. Now, coming to the next part. Yeah. In this one, question number 25, an existing DC 3-wire system is to be converted into a 3-phase 4-wire system by adding a 4th wire equal in cross section to each outer wires of the DC system for the same supply and load voltages to neutral balanced condition, the extra power at unity power that can be supplied by the system. So, what you have to take care of for this one, first you can take a DC 3-wire system. What is actually the DC system? What generally we know, we are connecting, a load is connected, assuming there is some DC motor, and here I am applying a voltage is actually applied. So, this voltage is driving the current. So, I am using here 2 wires, this is the first wire and this one is second wire. This is what you can call it as main 2-wire DC system. This is of 2-wire DC system. What is meaning of DC 3-wire system? The meaning of DC 3-wire system is we have This is the first conductor, assume that, and this is actually one more wire I have taken is with colors here, like this you have considered. Now you can observe here. In this case, what I am doing here is I am connecting a load is actually connected in this point of here. This is one load and this is actually another load, you can imagine. This is actually our third wire. This is actually, we should not say neutral, but you can say that as a third wire. The voltage we are applying between these two is of V, and this voltage I am applying, this is of voltage V is applied in general case. But here the meaning of this one is the total voltage applied between this total load point of is 2V is the voltage applied. If this load and this load, both loads are balanced, then the current flowing in the third wire, this is the third wire, the current flowing in this third wire is of 0. That is the meaning of here is what called 3-wire DC system. So, what is the path of this current? The path of this current is actually flows under balance condition is the current will flow, the current I1 which will pass through this point, and the current will flow through this one is same I1 will actually flows. Sorry, this is the current I1 will actually flows. Now, here it has some resistance of R1 I am considered, and he is having a resistance of R. I have taken as R is the resistance value for this case. So, then what should be the power I can able to send through this one in case of DC 3-wire system? This power I am sending through this one is simply I am taking a voltage of 2V into I1. This is the power input, and what should be the power loss I can able to get here? The power loss in this one is the first wire is of, this is the first wire, this third one is no current, this is second one. So, the two wires are carrying the current, the power loss in this one is 2I1 square into R. Then what is the percentage of power loss point of here? You can take power loss PL by P1, how much is the power loss is there. For this case you can take, this is actually given by 2In square by this is given by 2V into I1. So, into 100. So, this is for the 3-wire DC system, what is the power I am supplying, and power loss, this is power loss, this is the power input which actually supplied by for the 3-wire system. But in this case what he is asking? He is asking about 3-phase 4-wire system. Now you can consider here. Just I am sorry. I am removing this part. Yeah. You have taken a 3-phase 4-wire system. I have to compare with 3-phase DC system with the 3-phase 4-wire system. In this system, we have 4 wires, this is first one, this second one, the third one, and we are having a neutral also is there. This one is neutral. Then all the wires are having a resistance of R. Okay, and the voltage for this section is V. And he is also, because of the 3-phase system, all the phase voltages are what? Same voltages we have considered, and a balanced system, and the current which is flowing in this is given by I2. Then what is the power loss in this case here? Power input here, power input I can take 3V into I1, because V into I1 is per phase, V into I2 sorry, because the current is flowing I have taken is I2, 3V into I2 is the current, it is the total power for 3 phases. And what is the power loss here? The power loss is given by this 3 I2 square into R is the power loss. Now, if you compare this power loss by this P2 here, in this case what it actually gives, this component is given by 3 I2 square R by 3 times of what? Vi2. So, into 100 is there. Now, this is the first equation, this one is the second equation. Now, you can observe here. In this case of the problem point of here, for the same supply and load voltages, the neutral and balanced condition, the extra power at unity power factor that can be supplied. That means, the percentage of power loss point should match, then only you should compare. So, we compare this first and second equation, compare this percentage of power loss, first and second equation you compare. If you solve this equation, finally what you are getting is, you will get this equation of I1 equal to I2 current you will get. Once you know this I1 equal to I2, then Here I am comparing this P1 by P2 now. You will take here P1 by P2. What the P1 is here, or P2 by P1, sorry. This is actually taken of P2. This one is a P1. P2 by P1 you will take. This P2 by P1 value, we are getting this component. 1 minute. 1 minute. Yeah. This actually got the P2 by P1. So, P2 value is how much? This is of 3 times of Vi2, by this will gives 2 times of Vi1. Here I1 equal to I2 you can substitute, then these two will get cancelled. Finally, I am getting this value is 1.5 times of the value. That means, the value of P2 I am getting is 1.5 times of P1. So, the power of power flowing with the second case means with 3-phase 4-wire system will be 50% more than the first case I am able to get. So, the answer what we will get is the extra power that this is actually at unity power factor that can be supplied by the AC system will be how much is P2 is 1.5 times of P1 means answer for this of 50% is the value. So, this is actually some mathematical analysis is required for solving this simple problem. Is it okay? So, that is how we have to solve this problem comparing with a DC 3-wire system with a 3-phase 4-wire system, right. Okay. Now, coming to the, I think all of you understand this one. Here this point actually will write down here. Here P2 will get is what happened? This value comes is 1.5 times of P1. This is actually the point you have to understand. Clear, 50% more power. Right. Now, coming to next question. Which of the following statement correct for a load flow studies? Load flow studies point of view you can read bus admittance matrix is the most economical from the point of view of computer time and memory requirement that we have studied in the what is the bus impedance matrix and bus admittance matrix. Admittance matrix is simple comparison, faster is possible. The mathematical formulation of load flow problem results in a system of nonlinear equations. This is also correct. So, what are the power flow equations are there? All these equations are nonlinear algebraic equations. In a power system, each node of bus is associated with 4 quantities P, Q, delta and V. You know this all the 4 quantities active, reactive power and load angle and voltage. All the 3 statements are correct. So, that answer for this one is D is the answer you will get 1, 2 and 3. Okay? Right. Now, coming to the question number 107. Which of the following statements for a balanced 3-phase circuit are correct? The total instantaneous power P equal to 3P, where P is the real power per phase. The sum of the 3 currents at any instant is, because the balanced system is sum of the currents IR plus IB plus IB is 0, and sum of the instantaneous reactive powers is what? How much is the value of 0? This is actually related to this statement. So, what is the correct answer for this one is, mean 1 and 2 reactive power point of sum of the instantaneous reactive power point of, you cannot say this point of here. Answer is, we will get A is the answer for this point. Okay. Some of the reactive power cannot say that actually 0, but depending on this active power point of view, you can take this point. If it is a balanced main case of system type of load, we don't know. For that, we should not say that reactive power is what 0. Cannot able to say this, right? Okay. Next case, a 3-phase balanced star connect system. The line voltages are, so what we know. Suppose this is actually R phase is there, and E is of Y phase, and E is of B phase is there. These are all the phase voltages. So, what is actually VRY? VRY, if you take, this is what you will get. This is a line voltage. VRY is of line voltage. It is advanced by how much of degrees? 30 degrees. 30 degrees ahead of the respective phase voltages. So, this is the answer is what? C is the answer for this. Okay. So, these are the questions you got from power system. So, most of the questions are very simple one. Okay. Thank you.
So,
right.
Thank you. All the best.
Thank you.
Thank you. All the best.
We will meet in the mains class. Thank you. Right.
Dear students, greetings of the day. This is Murli Machines faculty. I will be dealing transformers, induction and special machines. Let us start with transformers question. If the output voltage in auto transformer is less than the input voltage, clearly mentioned output voltage is less than the input voltage, which means it is a step down transformer. Imagine a step down auto transformer. V1 is input voltage, V2 is the output voltage, I1 is the input current, I2 is output current or load current. As you know, in a transformer, V1 I1 is equal to V2 I2, neglecting the losses and considering input output power factors almost same. On that basis, on high voltage side, current value will be low, on low voltage side, current value will be high, which means I2 is definitely higher compared to I1. The load current is more than the input current is the right answer. Because it is low voltage side, this is high current, which means load current is more than the input current. Next question about rotating magnetic field. In induction machine first class, this is what we discuss. The speed at which the rotating magnetic field revolves is called synchronous speed. When a flux rotates in the air gap, it rotates at only one speed, one specific speed called as synchronous speed. Of course, it has three qualities. One is synchronous speed, other one is magnitude, constant magnitude and a specific direction. Ns, synchronous speed is 120 F by P. F is the frequency, P is the number of poles. This will be used in the next question. 120 F by P, F frequency, P number of poles. Answer is synchronous speed. A 6-pole 3-phase induction motor is connected to a 50 Hz supply. If it is running at 970 RPM, then slip will be, slip formula, percentage slip is equal to Ns minus N by Ns into 100. Ns is synchronous speed, that is what we discussed just, 120 F by P. So, according to this question, 50 Hz supply, 6 pole. Based on this, synchronous speed is Ns is equal to 120 into 50 by 6, that is 1000 RPM. Operating speed is 970. So, percentage slip is 1000 minus 970 into 100, that is 3%. Next. Stator of a 3-phase induction motor has 3 slots per pole per phase. If the supply frequency is 50 Hz, the speed of rotating stator flux means rotating magnetic field again. To find out speed of rotating magnetic field, we need two things: frequency, number of poles. Generally number of poles, 2 pole, after that 4 pole, after that 6 pole, they go on. This particular question do not have this data given directly. In this question, poles are not mentioned. Let us take like this: 3 slots per pole per phase, which means it is a 3-phase winding. Obviously, 3 slots per pole per phase means if you multiply into phases, it becomes 3 into 3 slots per pole, which means 9 slots per pole. If you take 2 poles, if you multiply into 2, 18 slots. Assume 2 poles. Let P is equal to 2. Then 9 into 2, 18 slots. 18 slots, 2 pole machine, it will become. Next, if you assume P is equal to 4, why I am going to the next P is equal to 4 means, if you assume 2 poles, answer is not given. If you assume 2 poles, 120 into F by P, F is mentioned. If you take 2 poles, it is 3000 RPM. In the options, there is no 3000 RPM. So, you cannot take P is equal to 2 now. After 2, next set is 4. If you take P is equal to 4, check number of slots also, 36 slots will come because 9 into 4, 36. So 18 slots is a standard, definitely 3-phase winding is possible. 36 slots also possible because you can make divisible by 3, 36 slots, 4-pole machine is a standard 3-phase winding actually. 36 slots, 4-pole is a good format to do 3-phase winding. So if you take 36 slots, 4-pole, then synchronous speed will be 1500, 120 F by P. NS value 120 into frequency is 50 by 4. If you make, it will be 1500 RPM. Once this is matching, we can go with 1500. If you go for 6-pole, definitely it will go with 1000 RPM. But here you no need to go to next level of set because after 2 we can make it a 4-pole which is a standard and the answer can be 1500 RPM. If 1500 is not given, then you can go for 1000, next set of poles. Once it is mentioned, you can stop here. Answer is 1500 RPM. Rotating state of flux means rotating magnetic field only. Next. It is a stepper motor question, comes under special motor category. A stepper motor has a step angle 10 degree and is required to rotate at 200 RPM. Pulse rate of the motor will be, means answer should be steps per second. Steps per second should be your answer. Very simply you can solve this question by seeing this data only. First, 200 rotations per minute is mentioned. So convert into rotations per second because answer should be per second. Speed is 200 by 60 rotations per second, which means next, step angle 10 degree given. A stepper motor make in one rotation 360 degrees. Step angle 10 degree means the step, one step 10 degree means if you divide 360 by 10 degree, you will get number of steps per revolution. Imagine a clock, simply you will get it. Number of steps per revolution, that is 360 by 10, that is 36 steps per revolution. So, if you multiply revolutions per second, if you multiply steps per revolution into revolutions per second, if you multiply, you will get 120 steps per second. Next, this question we have solved previously based on what is our steps per second, based on the given data. In a similar way, here it is asked number of rotor teeth. We have a direct formula in terms of rotor teeth and number of stacks, that is step angle alpha is equal to 360 degree by m into NR. Alpha is step angle, 360 complete one rotation, mechanical degrees. M is number of stacks on the stator. NR number of teeth on the rotor. So, from this NR is equal to 360 by M alpha. Data given is M. M is 4. Alpha value 1.8 degree. If you substitute, NR is 360 by M value is 4 into alpha 1.8. We get an answer 50. 50 rotor teeth. Next, this question is based on iron losses. The total core loss is also called iron loss. The total core loss of a specimen of a silicon steel is found to be 1500 watt at 50 hertz. Keeping the flux density constant, this is important because whether the question belongs to flux density constant case or flux density not constant case, depending on that we have to solve, equations will change. Imagine Pi, iron loss, is pH plus Pa. It's a combination of hysteresis and eddy current loss. Hysteresis loss is proportional to B power 1.6 F and volume. Next, eddy current loss is proportional to B square, F square and T square. Frequency, volume of the core, frequency, thickness of laminations, flux density. This question has flux density constant. Anyway, volume and thickness of lamination is also constant. So, simply what we can write is pH proportional to F, PE proportional to F square. Then here what we can write is pH is equal to some constant A into F. A is to calculate hysteresis loss, constant. PE is equal to B into F square. B is another constant to calculate specifically eddy current losses. So, I am writing, let us say pH is equal to AF, PE is equal to BF square. So, Pi is pH means AF plus BF square. If you are given individually, no need A, B constants. If you are given like this combination, 1500 watts is a combination of eddy current, hysteresis. 3000 is a combination of eddy current, hysteresis. If you are given a combination, then you need these constants to solve the question easily. So, first case, you have to keep what is the iron loss in the first case, what is the frequency of first case. Second case, what is the iron loss given to you and what is the frequency. Constant will be a constant. Two equations you will get. If you solve simply, you will get the answer. Let us see like this. First, Pi1 means 1500 watts is equal to AF, A into 50 plus B into 50 square. This is first equation because that is the case given first, 1500 watts at 50 hertz, 3000 watts at 75 hertz. 3000 is equal to A into 75 plus B into 75 square. Two equations. All you have to do is solve these two equations, then you will get. Equation 1, equation 2, then you will get A value as 10, B value as 0.4. This is the constant to calculate eddy current loss. This is the constant to calculate hysteresis loss for any frequency. You know, eddy current losses are asked, and you know PE is equal to B into F square. So, eddy current loss at 75 hertz is equal to B into F square, 0.4 into 75 square. This is 2.25 kilowatt is the answer. Thank you so much. Remaining questions my colleague will continue.
Yes, hello everybody. I will be taking DC machine and synchronous machine. So now this question is related with DC machine. The maximum field circuit resistance with which the shunt generator would just excite is known as. So basically, whenever we study related to voltage built up, if you can remember, right? So basically the slope of this line is R field critical. So that is called as critical resistance. So voltage built up, there are many conditions we generally study in classroom also. So what will be the answer? Tell me. B is the right answer. Okay, fine. Okay, a shunt generator is rated at 240 volt, full load, no load voltage is given, then voltage regulation. So what is voltage regulation? Simply no load minus full load upon rated voltage, correct? So what is your rated voltage? So 252 minus 240 upon the rated voltage is 240 into 100. So in this manner our answer will be 5%, right? Correct? So answer is A. Very simple question. Right, now come to here. When a compound generator has its series field flux adding its shunt field flux, right? So cumulative compound generator will have two types of fields, series and shunt. So when both are additive, coupling is there, means both are adding to one another, then that is called as cumulative compound. Simple question again. So that is B is the right answer, cumulative compound, right? Now next, the load torque developed by synchronous motor at which the motor pulls out of the synchronism is. So see, first of all, starting torque, no sir. Maximum torque, no sir, because I have told you at maximum torque it will run, correct? And pull-in torque is the torque when induction to synchronous motor operation takes place. So induction motor also it is called, right? We have studied. So that is the breakdown torque. Very simple, name itself suggests you breakdown torque. So answer is A. Now the graph between armature current and field current of a synchronous motor for a constant load. So again very simple, right? इसीलिए कहता हूँ कि टफ नहीं होता एग्जाम में, ओनली थिंग इज सिलेबस ज़्यादा है तो थोड़ा सा उसको प्रैक्टिस करते रहिए. बताओ कौन सा कर्व है ये? वी कर्व. वेरी सिंपल. ओके, सो आंसर इज डी. Now come to the silent pole machine. The resultant air gap flux is increased as in the cylindrical rotor alternator when armature reaction flux phi for sin 90. Sin 90 समझ गए होंगे? Yes. Angle between EF and IA, that is 90. कोई भी ड्रॉ कर लो, ये वाला ड्रॉ कर लो, ये भी बता रखा है, करेक्ट? सॉरी, ठीक है, क्लियर है? तो नाउ सॉरी, दिस इज सपोज phi f, right? तो पॉइंट इज द आर्मेचर रिएक्शन फ्लक्स phi. तो वैसे भी वो ड्रॉ नहीं भी करो, सिंपल बताओ, लीडिंग लैगिंग है ना, अपोजिट फील्ड. सो इन विच केस दिस विल add to phi f. Very simple. So suppose this is your phi f, right, and it is leading. तो leading में तरीका बताया था आपको, IA, तो phi IAR will be here. So of course this will add into it, right? So leading adds the field flux phi m, correct? ठीक है? So A will be the answer. ओके फाइन. अब टेक्निकली इफ़ यू वांट टू सी कि सर ये देखेंगे कैसे, एक तो ये सिंपल वे है, बट स्पेस टाइम फेजर आई हैव ड्रॉन ना, करेक्ट, इफ़ यू कैन रिमेंबर, मैंने क्लास में बताया है आपको, करेक्ट. दिस इज फाई एफ, तो ई एफ किधर होगा बताया था, इधर होगा, राइट, क्लियर. एंड सपोज योर साई इज 90, करेक्ट, उस हिसाब से आप ले लेंगे. तो अब 90 लीडिंग लैगिंग दोनों ही हो सकता है. तो मान लीजिए सपोज आई एम टेकिंग IA leading, 90 leading. So basically what we can suggest, FAR will be in this direction, then only adding will be there na. So basically whenever it is leading, so both will add and the resultant will be maximum. याद आ गया आपको. तो स्पेस टाइम फेजर से भी इसको आप देख सकते हैं. अदरवाइज लीडिंग में ऐड होता है, ये तो ऑलरेडी यू नो. क्लियर. आई थिंक completed ना, ठीक है. सो दैट्स इट फ्रॉम माय साइड एंड क्वेश्चंस आर इजियर. तो कट ऑफ ज़्यादा जाएगा, तो कोई बात नहीं, मेंस की तैयारी करो अच्छे से और ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा स्कोर करो. थैंक यू सो मच.
Yes, yes. Good evening, students. I'm going to take up this communication systems, and the questions are easy only. Most of the questions are from classroom discussions only. So almost some 11, 12 questions came from communication systems. So we will take these questions one after another. Okay, fine. So if you see this first question, this is a direct question. I can say this is okay. Yes. And here the carrier signal amplitude is given, and this the peak amplitude of carrier signal I am denoting with AC, and this is amplitude modulated by okay 3 different modulating frequencies. Modulating signal means message signal. So 3 different message frequencies with peak amplitude levels of 2 volts, 3 volts and 4 volts. So it is something like, you can see the message signal here as message signal as AM1 cos 2 pi FM 1t plus AM2 cos 2 pi FM 2t plus AM3 cos 2 pi FM 3 AM3 cos 2 pi FM 3t, like that. So message signal having 3 different frequencies and with the corresponding peak amplitudes of AM1, AM2 and AM3. So I am denoting this with AM1 and this is AM2 and this is AM3. Then the modulation index of the resultant AM signal will be, we have to find out. So in the case of multi-tone modulation, where message signal having different frequencies, okay, more than one frequencies, that is multi-tone modulation. In the case of multi-tone modulation, what is the mu of the resultant AM signal is under root of mu1 square plus mu2 square plus mu3 square.
but here mu is directly not given. If mu not given directly, then mu is equals to AM by AC. So here mu 1 equals to AM1 by AC, and mu 2 is equals to AM2 by AC. Mu 3 is equals to AM3 upon AC. So AM1 upon AC means this is 2 upon 10, this is 0.2, and AM2 upon AC, that is 0.3, and this is AM3 upon AC. AM3 upon AC means 4 upon, this is 10, that is 0.4. Then what is the mu of the resultant AM signal is under root of this mu 1 square, this is 0.2 square plus 0.3 square plus 0.4 square, and it will be equals to, so 0.538. So to match with the given options, you can round off to 2 decimal places, that is 0.54. So option B will be correct here. Okay, I hope everyone done this question correctly. Yes, and if you see this question, and it is also direct question only. So this model of question already given in the previous of examinations. So this is the output power of the modulated amplifier is 50 watts. Okay, and the modulation index mu is equals 100% of modulation, means mu equals to 1, I can say, and internal loss in the modulator is 10 watts. So including this internal loss in the modulator, then I can say the total power of the resultant AM signal, including that internal loss in the modulator, the total power of the resultant AM signal is, so this is 50 watts plus, I can say this is 10 watts. Yes, 50 watts plus 10 watts, and this is 60 watts. Means due to this mu equals to 1, what is the total power? Because of this mu is equals to 1, what is the total power we are expecting for the resultant AM? Will be, that is what is the power output of the modulated amplifier, and including that internal loss in the modulator, the total power will be equals to 50 plus 10, that is 60 watts. Then unmodulated carrier power we need to find out, PC. PC we have to find out. PT is equals to PC times to 1 plus mu square by 2. So from this PC is equals to PT to 60 hai and mu is 1, then this PC is equals to 40 watts. Okay, so option D will be correct. Okay, yes, and if you see this next question, and this is also a direct question related to frequency modulation. The maximum deviation allowed in FM is 75 kilohertz. You can understand this 75 kilohertz as maximum frequency deviation only, and message signal frequency is 10 kilohertz, that is FM. Then what is the bandwidth of the resultant FM signal? The bandwidth, okay, this is, and beta is equals to, if you see, beta is delta F upon FM, this is beta is delta F upon FM. So 75 kilohertz upon 10 kilohertz, that is 7.5. So beta 7.5, beta is high, so this is WBFM only. So what is the bandwidth of the WBFM? Beta plus 1 times to 2FM you can write, or 2 times 2, this is delta F plus FM. So if you see delta F plus FM is 85, 85 times 2, that is 170 kilohertz. So all these questions are direct questions only, na? All these questions we discussed in the classroom. So I hope you done these questions correctly. And here the peak envelope power in the suppressed carrier signal. Okay, suppressed carrier means you can understand that is DSB-SC only, the default of double sideband suppressed carrier, the default you can understand. So but what may be the modulation you are dealing with? Peak envelope power means what is the power of the peak envelope, okay, peak of the envelope. So what is the power of the peak of the envelope? So here the peak voltage is given how much? Vp. For this modulated signal, the peak voltage is denoted with Vp here. The peak voltage means this is the peak of the envelope only. Okay, peak voltage of the signal means that is indirectly the peak of the envelope only. If you see some modulated signal here, this is double sideband suppressed carrier, this is, yes, DSB-SC signal, something like this. So here the peak voltage here denoted with, here this peak voltage is denoted with Vp here. Okay, then what is that this peak voltage, you can understand this is the peak of the envelope only. This is the envelope here. What is the envelope here? A line which is drawn by touching its, okay, this is this is, I can say, the envelope. So the peak voltage of the signal, what you see, this indirectly it is nothing but the peak of the envelope only. What is the peak of the envelope? Vp. And what is that peak envelope power? Power is nothing but V square by R. So this is peak voltage is Vp, okay, and Vp square by R, I can say. If the peak of the envelope, if denoted with A max, if the peak of the envelope, if at all denoted with A max, then what is that peak envelope power? Peak envelope power is A max square upon R. But here the peak of the envelope denoted with Vp, and what the peak envelope power is V square by R, that is Vp square by R. The load resistance is given as RL, so it is Vp square upon RL, okay, yes. And if you see, this is a standard question hai, okay, to find the noise voltage, okay, the noise voltage generated from resistor. What is the noise voltage generated from resistor? Vn is equals to under root of 4 kTBR. एक formula hai like this. The noise voltage produced across the resistor under root of 4 kTBR, where here this is 4 k, here is the Boltzmann's constant. Boltzmann's constant is 1.38 into 10 power minus 23 joules per Kelvin, and T here is the temperature. Temperature in degree Kelvin. Actually temperature is given how much here? The temperature is given 25 degrees centigrade, and to convert into degree Kelvin, that is 25 plus 273, then will be converted to degree Kelvin, and this will be how much here? 298, I can say, degree Kelvin. This is, so T is 298, and bandwidth. So this is, the resistor is operating over the frequencies, okay, over the frequency range of 20 kilohertz. That frequency range, over which frequency range this is operating, that frequency range can be understood as bandwidth only. In which frequency range the resistor is operating, that frequency range you can understand as bandwidth only, and that bandwidth is 20 kilohertz. So this is 20 times to 10 power 3, and the resistor R is 100 kilo ohm. So this is 100 into 10 power 3. So just, and I am actually this is bit of surprising only giving such questions in the ESE prelims, because to do this computation definitely the calc is required, the calculator is required, but I don't know how they will frame such questions in ESE prelims where calc is not allowed. But we are helpless, we can't do anything. Just if you do this computation, and this is 5.7 into 10 power minus 6 it is, and 5.7 microvolts it will be. So option B will be correct here, okay, 5.7 microvolt. So if anyone solved the previous ESE questions, so this question is given in previous ESCs, previous ESC में दिया है, not exactly last year, but maybe 5-6 years back the same model of question is given. So those who solved that previous questions, they might have done this, but this computation definitely will takes time, okay, this, okay, doing this computation calculation, ठीक है. Yes, this 5.7 microvolt, and the same, okay. Next, if you see this question, yes, and this is about TDM, finding the bandwidth of the time division multiplexing. Here how many signals you multiplexed here? Okay, number of signals multiplexed here is capital N, and that is equal to 6 here, and each signal is band limited to 4 kilohertz. The bandwidth of the signal I am denoting with FM, and need to be time division multiplexed. The sampling rate is not given, the default it is Nyquist rate only, 2 FM. 2 FM is 8 kilohertz, okay. This is actually just give me a minute, just give me a few seconds. Fine. Yes, and here you have to find the minimum transmission bandwidth we need to find out. So, the minimum transmission bandwidth, it is RB upon 2. This is RB is equals to capital N small n Fs. Small n is not given, so default small n is 1 only. So, capital N is 6, small n is 1 and Fs is 8K. Then the minimum transmission bandwidth is, okay, this is 48K upon 2, 48K upon 2 will be 24 kilohertz. So, this is C will be correct here, okay, yes. And this is actually a standard question, I can say this is, okay, this is a standard question, something has to be remembered. I hope you haven't done this question, okay, you have not done this question, I hope so, because this is picked from some textbook, okay, one line picked from the standard textbook and given in the examination, okay, like the frequency division multiplexing, typical telemetry, this is related to some standard system, the standard telemetry system may, the carrier frequency if at all 230 megahertz is used, then what will be the corresponding bandwidth will be? The corresponding bandwidth here will be plus minus 490 kilohertz. Okay, these are some standard results I can say. Like if in any if the carrier frequency is something different, the corresponding bandwidth also going to be somewhat different is going to be, that is going to be some standard result. And here in this standard telemetry system where FDM is used, if the carrier frequency is 230 megahertz, then what is the corresponding bandwidth is plus minus 490 kilohertz. So, TK. So, except this 1-2 questions, the remaining questions are pretty easy questions directly from the classroom discussions. I hope you solve those questions, and thank you very much guys, all the very best. Thank you.
Okay, right. So, we will start with the measurement subject, myself and Mary sir. So, initially we will solve one by one. Just see that the output voltage of LVDT is of 1.5 volts at maximum displacement at a load of 0.5 mega ohm. The deviation from the linearity is maximum of plus or minus 0.003 volts from a straight line through origin. The linearity at the given load will be. So, how do you solve, sir? Solve it, sir.
Directly you try just 0.03, maximum deviation is 0.003 by 1.5 volt will give the directly linearity. 0.003 by 1.5 into 100 will give the answer.
That will cause is 0.2%.
Maybe
Okay, 0.2%.
0.2% B is answer. Direct.
Okay, right. Just what is asking in this one, just you can imagine like this. So, this is output voltage versus the displacement x. So, what you are expecting this one is of, you are expecting this should be of linear, but the deviation of this linearity you are getting like this, for example. How much is the deviation? This deviation value is given of 0.003 volts is the deviation. How much is the linearity? Percentage is deviation is, that is what is asking. Okay. Next one. Okay, force summing devices are used to add different sources to convert the applied force into displacement. What the meaning of force summing devices are? What we are using different methods for the case of transit users for measurement of the force in the by using a displacement point of view here, like LVDT. LVDT is can be used as both primary device as well as a secondary transducer. In that the secondary transducer application, first displacement is we are converting in terms of what? Force. Similarly, you are using a bellows. The bellows also used to convert the displacement into what? Force. For this is what called force summing, summation of this component. So, that convert the applied force into a displacement is the answer for this question. Next one. Which one of the following can act as inverse transducer when a voltage is applied across its surfaces? Sir.
Both side, here is a electrical to one is a mechanical, and mechanical to electrical is possible only for the piezoelectric crystal. If you are given a force is in the terms of electrical signal voltage में देते हैं. If you are given a voltage, it will give the displacement में भी देते हैं. So that is the option is piezoelectric crystal. These all are only transducers, not acts as inverse transducers. This only the acts as both transducer and inverse transducer. That means electrical to mechanical and mechanical to electrical possible.
Suppose if you take a piezo crystal you are applying a mechanical force is applied, that mechanical force is converting into electrical voltage. If I am applying electrical voltage, then the dimensions will get changed. So, that is what called mechanically it can able to convert. Okay. Which one of the following standards is used to check and calibrate laboratory instrument for accuracy and performance?
International instrument only standard, not a voltage standard, not a word working standard and second standard. Only the word is I think is your heard, that word is internationally standard.
Okay, next one. The expected value of the voltage across a resistor is of 80 volts. However, the measurement gives a value of 79 volts. Then what is the percentage of accuracy? Very important this one. It is not percentage of error. What is actually accuracy? But you luckily in the given options he has not given the error value. If the error value is given, 90% of the students will give the answer as what? Error value. Right? So, percentage of error is actually you are expressing as measured minus true by the true into 100. Here in this one, the measured value is of how much?
79.
79 minus
80 by
80 into 100.
So 1.25 will get.
That value is 1.25 minus will get percentage value. This is the error. Then what should be the accuracy?
100 minus 1.25.
Accuracy will get is of 100 minus 1.25. So that will give us 98.75%. Suppose in the given options, in any of the options, if minus 1.25 is given, most of the students will get that is the correct one. But he is asking about accuracy. Be careful. Answer is of 98.75. Okay, next one.
A meter will give a lower indication of the voltage drop that actually existed before the meter was connected. This effect is called. एक मीटर कनेक्ट करने के बाद वोल्टेज ड्रॉप होता है, दैट इज कॉल्ड, मे बी इज कॉल्ड इज ए, योर ऑप्शन इज इंडक्टिव इफेक्ट ऑफ एन इंस्ट्रूमेंट. इंडक्टिव के वजह से वोल्टेज ड्रॉप नहीं होता है. सिंक्रोनाइजिंग इफेक्ट ऑफ एन इंस्ट्रूमेंट, सिंक्रोनाइज इफेक्ट ही नहीं है. लोडिंग इफेक्ट ऑफ एन इंस्ट्रूमेंट, कैपेसिटी इफेक्ट ऑफ एन इंस्ट्रूमेंट. सो लोडिंग इफेक्ट व्हेन एवर वोल्टेज सोर्स इंटरनल रेजिस्टेंस के वजह से लोडिंग इफेक्ट के कारण वोल्टेज ड्रॉप होता है. द ऑप्शन इज सी इज करेक्ट.
Okay. Next one, the basic permanent magnet moving coil PMMC mechanism is often called, I call it as PMMC's other name is called it as a D orthogonal movement. The same question is given for the ECE students engineering services prelims examination, same question. Okay, ask. Okay, sir.
The potential transformer is used to operate voltmeters, potential coils of wattmeters and relays from high current lines, low current lines, high voltage lines, low voltage lines. The name indicates the potential transformer किसके लिए यूज करते हैं? हाई वोल्टेज से ड्रॉप मीन्स स्टेप डाउन के लिए पोटेंशियल ट्रांसफॉर्मर यूज करते हैं. सो डायरेक्टली देख के बोल सकते हैं दिस हाई वोल्टेज लाइन्स के लिए ये पोटेंशियल ट्रांसफॉर्मर यूज करते हैं.
So in the power system subject, whenever you are studying about main protection topic, given the applications of CT and PT. In the CT and PT applications, it is mainly used in the substations of higher voltage levels, where actually you can use the secondary coils of CT and PT are used for protection, connecting directly to the relays for protection point of view. And for measurement purpose, you are using PT secondaries connected to the voltmeter and wattmeter or potential coil of wattmeter energy meter, and CT secondaries are connected to the current coil of wattmeter or ammeters, and as well as energy meter current coil. Along with this one, protective relays like overcurrent relays. Okay. The output power wattmeter is designed to measure the output power. The output power wattmeter means power you have to measure by using wattmeters directly in an arbitrary load. So these actually you can use directly, you can measure this.
The nominal ratio Kn for a current transformer. Current transformer में nominal ratio Kn is defined as, the options are given. Directly ये देख के बोल सकते हैं. Direct question is इसमें आंसर रेटेड प्राइमरी वाइंडिंग करंट बाय रेटेड सेकेंडरी करंट I1 by I2 इज इक्वल टू V2 by V1 इज इक्वल टू N रहते ना. सो Kn इज इक्वल टू रेटेड प्राइमरी वाइंडिंग करंट बाय रेटेड सेकेंडरी करंट.
Okay, sir. Right. Next one, which one of the following generates an electrical signal directly in response to the physical parameters and does not require any external power source of its operation? So whenever you are discussing on transducer part, one of the transducer like piezoelectric transducer, it is actually called as an example of active transducer. Without any electrical external source, we are able to get mechanical input power, whatever actually applying the mechanical force, directly converting into a electrical output. So that this is what called
Active transducer.
active transducer. The answer is active. Oh yeah. Okay. Right. Okay. So one more question is there. One minute. Okay. Now, this is actually the question, one more question given in measurement subject. In this one you can observe here the insulation resistance R1, R2 of a live 2-wire network are measured by earthing each main in turn through a milliammeter in series with a high resistance R. When the supply voltage is 500 volts, the values of R is given by 20 mega ohms and I1 is 1 milliamp and I2 is 0.5 milliamps. The insulated resistance R1, R2 are respectively. You can think of like this simple one, you can think of like this. Suppose see that just I am taking as a cable, imagine like this is a cable and this cable is having some insulation resistance, it is providing with some insulation. Okay. So, this is actually our insulation is there. Now, this insulation I name it as R1. He has given this R1 is one insulation and for this insulation he has connected one resistance is connected. What the value of resistance is 20 mega ohms or 20 kilo ohms, sorry, this is actually 20,000 means 20 kilo ohms. And we are applying with a voltage here. This voltage is of 500 volts. So, you can imagine this is of 500 volts, just like what you are doing in the substations of Megger is an instrument, assume that, and we are connecting with an ammeter, ammeter is connected, it is a milliammeter, it is measuring a current of 1 milliamp. So, from this simple the circuit point of you can observe, this circuit just I am redrawing, we have a resistance, two resistances are there with 500 volts, it is of R1, the current which is flowing is of 1 milliamp and it is of 20 kilo ohms. Just he is asking about what is the value of R1. R1 you can just calculate, that is 500 by this is of 1 milliamp 1 into 10 power minus 3 minus this is of 20 kilo ohms, this is actually 20 into 10 cube. Just you can calculate this value of the resistance R1. This is first part. Now, if you take the second part, similarly he has one more resistance, one more cable you can imagine R2 and here the current is of second case is of 0.5 milliamps, sorry, is of current is of 0.5 milliamps, same resistance is there, it is of 20 kilo ohms applied with a voltage of 500 volts, then you want to find out the value of R2, that is 500 by 0.5 into 10 power minus 3 minus this value is going to be 20 kilo ohms, 20 into 10. Just you can calculate this R2. So, finally, the answers for this one R1, R2 after solving you will get approximate answer for this one is D is the answer for this part, 0.47 mega ohms or 0.48 and one more is of 0.47 mega ohms is the approximate answers you will get this one. Okay. Right. Okay, this is a question from the measurement topic. Thank you very much.
Hello students, hi everyone. I hope you done well in the exam. So here I am with computer fundamental questions, okay, in the today's prelims paper. So we'll see the analysis of the computer fundamental questions, okay. So first question, statement 1, a computer control unit, here given computer control unit, does not perform any actual processing of jobs, but acts as the central nervous system for the other components of a computer system. Okay. So it is a straightforward statement saying that control unit is brain of a CPU. Control unit is brain of a CPU. Yes. So control unit is not doing any internal processing, it just generating the control signals while executing the instructions. So control unit is acting like a brain of a CPU, right. Now second statement, it obtains instructions from a program stored in main memory, interprets the instruction and issues signals causing other units of the system to execute them. So when we see this statement, exactly this statement is also true, right. So first statement is true, second statement is true. When we see the relationship between these two statements, second statement gives the correct explanation of a first statement, okay. So according to the given codes, here answer is A. Okay, students, I already explained this question very well in the classroom running notes, right. So if you refer the class notes, there it is clearly visible what is control unit, okay, what is the role of control unit, how many types of control units are present in the computer design, okay. Perfectly I explained the control unit in the regular class notes. So with that knowledge, you may there in a position to answer this question. So question answer is A. Next, this is the next question from computer fundamental subjects. Computer fundamental subject, okay. See this, which one of the following operators replaces certain statements of the if then else from C language, okay students. So when you see this statement, okay, automatically you need to recollect the concept from the operators in C language, which again I explained in the regular class notes, okay. In our class I explained operators in C. So in that operators list I explained conditional operator or ternary operator. If you remember that, this is the conditional operator, question mark and colon. Question mark and colon is the ternary operator, okay. So that is already present in the running notes. So this operator is acting like a if then else statement, right. Expression 1, okay, question mark, expression 2, colon, expression 3. So this is the syntax of the ternary operator. First evaluate the expression 1, okay. So here expression 1 evaluation is takes place. After evaluation of the expression 1, when it is true, then expression 2 will be returned, and when it is false, then it returns the content which is present after the colon. So this operator exactly acting like a if then else statement in the C program, correct. Now here we need to find out the operator which replaces the if statement, okay. Already you know the operator question mark and colon. So when you see the list of operators which is matching, exactly D is matching, so that correct answer is D, okay student. So this is also the direct question from the running notes, you know that. Next, see the next question. Question is the necessary steps that the processor has to carry out fetching an instruction from the memory and executing it. So, which of the following describes the execution sequence of an instruction? Okay. So, when you see this, there is a concept which I explained in the class notes, that is the instruction cycle. It contains two subcycles. One is the fetch cycle, second is the execution cycle, right? So, what is the function of this? This function is used to describe the execution sequence of a program instruction by instruction. So, fetch cycle objective is fetch the instructions from the memory, execution cycle objective is execute the currently fetched instruction. So, this instruction cycle concept clearly describes the execution sequence of a program instruction by instruction. Okay, students. So, this is the concept which I explained in the class notes, you know that. Okay. If you refer the notes, this is visible to you. So, according to question, we need to identify the concept which shows the execution flow of a program instruction by instruction. Go to the options which is matching. C, an instruction cycle. So, here answer is C. Instruction cycle describes the execution sequence of a program instruction by instruction. Correct? Very good. Next question. See the question. Question is the total storage capacity mentioned, storage capacity of a floppy disk. There are some disk, secondary storage having 80 tracks and storing 128 byte per sector is 163840 bytes. So, this is the capacity of the disk they mentioned. There 80 tracks are present, 120 bytes per sector present. Now, we need to identify number of sectors in the disk. Okay. Now, again if you see the running notes, again we will see the running notes. There I explained the hard disk structure. There I explained how to calculate the capacity of the secondary storage. Okay. Hope you remember this formula. Okay. Disk capacity is equal to number of surfaces, actually number of surfaces in the disk into number of tracks, okay, per surface into number of sectors per track into number of bytes per sector. This is the formula. But in this question, disk capacity given 163840 bytes is equal to number of surfaces not given. So, we are assuming surface is 1, okay, only one surface is there, into number of tracks per surface 80 given, into, okay, number of sectors per track. We need to identify this parameter, let us take x, into number of bytes per sector 128 bytes. So, we need to find out the number of sectors. Now, take that x equal to 163840 bytes upon 80 into 128. So, perform the calculations, okay, output is 16, okay, direct answer is 16. So, if you see the options, correct answer is what? B. B is the right answer. Students, again you tell me, are we discussed this question in the class notes or not? You know, absolutely true. So, this kind of questions covered in the class notes. So, direct question present in the paper. I hope everyone given the right answer. Answer is B. Next question. When you see this question, TFT LCD monitor, it is related to input and output devices. They are asking just what is the expansion of TFT. Okay. So, this is just a common sense general question. Okay. So, in this question, full form of TFT is thin film transistor. Okay. So, for these questions direct reference is not the running notes. Okay, in our regular general usage of the computer and the latest technologies, okay, you may find, you may identify the answer. So answer is B. Right. Now come to the next question. Which of the following is the low level software that schedules tasks, allocates storage and handles the interface to peripheral hardware? Okay, they are simply asking the definition of the operating system. Okay, so which of the software is responsible to schedule the tasks, okay, to allocate the storage and handle the interface of the peripheral devices. So when you see the options, exactly D is matching. Kernel is nothing but a operating system. So OS is responsible to share the hardware resources efficiently among the user programs, right, among the user programs. So indirectly they ask the definition of the operating system. So when you know the definition of OS, then you can directly answer this question. Okay, again in the regular class notes I given the definition of the operating system and operating system scheduling policies and scheduling mechanisms. So obviously this is matching. Then see the next question. The wrapping up of data and functions into a single unit is known as, wrapping up of functions and data into a single unit is known as. So this is the just definition of the encapsulation, that is in objective oriented programming language encapsulation method is there. In that method variables and methods, okay, both are combined into one unit, that is called as a class. So this is a direct definition from the OOPS concept. So answer is A. A is the right answer. Next, see the last question from the computer fundamental subject. Which one of the following file operation is used with random access files to first position read or write pointer to a specific place in the file so that data can be read or write from that position? Okay, so when you want to access the data from the disk, you need to adjust the head, read write head. Okay, that means initially, okay, head may be present in any random location. So you need to identify where exactly your file is present. So that position, so okay, which file you want to access, so that file position tak हमने head को लेके आना, so that how much time is required to transfer the head from the initial position to desired file location to access is called as the seek time. This I explained in the hard disk structure. So same kind of the statement is given here. So which method they are asking the file operation. There I explained seek time, here that is the seek operation. Seek operation is used to bring the head from the initial position to desired location of a file to read or write. So directly we can say the answer is seek. Okay, seek operation, C is the answer. Okay, this concept is also directly present in the regular running notes. You please verify the notes. So here why I refer always see the running notes is whatever the concepts we analyzed in the our class notes, directly questions are formulated. So that gives the complete authentication of the class notes. Okay, so 1-2 questions are the fundamental questions. Based on the given statements you may answer, and rest of all questions are directly from the running notes. I hope you all done well. Thank you all.
Hello students, today
Let's
we are
discuss
going to
engineering mathematics.
yes sir, yes sir, we are going to discuss the mathematics solutions. Let me discuss with the first question. Here, what is the value of B such that the system will have a non-trivial solution? Non-trivial solution of a homogeneous system means what? So it is like it is having infinitely many solutions. So infinitely many solution condition is what? Determinant of A is equal to 0. So if you take this determinant equal to 0, then you will get the B is equal to 8. So B is equal to 8. So B is equal to 8. So the option C is the right answer. That is. So let's go for the next question, that is orthogonal trajectory to the hyperbola, family of hyperbolas. So this is the family of hyperbolas. We need to find out the orthogonal trajectory. So we need to find out the normal to this. So for this we will use the concept of differential equations here. So first we have to form the differential equation of it. Suppose if you, how do you differentiate, how do you form the differential equation? By eliminating this C by doing the differentiation. So differentiating with respect to x. So what do you get here? It is 2x minus 2y into dy by dx is equal to 0. See, arbitrary constant gone and the derivatives are in, it is the differential equation, right? So once you get the differential equation, the dy by dx is understood as the slope of the tangent, and the slope of the tangent is to be replaced by slope of the normal to have the orthogonal trajectory. So therefore this will be replaced by, so it is this dy by dx is replaced by minus dx by dy, which is equal to 0. Now we have to solve this differential equation, because this is the differential equation, okay, whose solution is the family of curves which is orthogonal to the given family of curves. So therefore by solving this, solving by variable separable, if you do it, so we will be getting the equation that is of here xy is equal to c. So that is once again you get this
Option C.
option C here it is, okay. That's called generally rectangular hyperbola, we say that. Sir, take the next question.
Next question, they are looking for the integration of this value x square y ds where c is the curve defined by this. तो अगर हमें इस इंटीग्रेशन को करना है तो सिंपल इंटीग्रेशन में आप देखो, इंटीग्रेशन में x का वैल्यू कितना दिया हुआ है, इट इज 3 cos t, y का वैल्यू कितना दिया, इसका होल स्क्वायर कर दीजिए, y का वैल्यू कितना दिया हुआ है, इट इज 3 sin t, राइट। और हमें दिया हुआ ds, बेसिकली ds क्या है, इट इज अंडर रूट ऑफ dx अपॉन dt का होल स्क्वायर प्लस dy अपॉन dt का होल स्क्वायर, बाहर आ जाएगा dt, लिमिट लगेगा gt का t का, और t का लिमिट दिया हुआ है 0 से लेके pi by 2.
Sir, generally the students here they may think that it is a dx or dy,
but ds is the length
but
of,
ds is always understood as a different length of the vector.
सो यहाँ से अगर इसको सॉल्व करेंगे तो ये आ जाएगा हमारा 0 से लेके pi by 2, यहाँ से हो जाएगा कितना 9, और यहाँ से 3, और यहाँ से जब इसको सॉल्व करिए तो ये आ जाएगा इसका 3 cos स्क्वायर, और ये भी आ जाएगा 3 sin स्क्वायर, तो ओवरऑल बाहर आ जाएगा 3, तो ये भी हमारा हो जाएगा 9, और यहाँ से क्या बचेगा, ये cos स्क्वायर t इंटू sin t dt. अब यहाँ से देखो हमारे पास क्या आ जाएगा, ये 81 बाहर हो जाएगा, 0 से लेके pi by 2, इट इज cos स्क्वायर t इंटू sin t dt. आप चाहो तो यहाँ डायरेक्टली रिडक्शन फार्मूला लगा दो, क्या आ जाएगा, ये 81 स्क्वायर है तो इसकी जगह पे क्या आ जाएगा 1, यहाँ साइन है छोड़ दीजिए 1, डिवाइड बाय कितना हो जाएगा, दैट इज 3. इसको सॉल्व करिए, आ जाएगा आंसर 27.
27 is the answer for this.
So which is option C is the correct answer for this question.
C. Next question sir.
नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन, दे आर लुकिंग फॉर द डाइवर्जेंस थ्योरम. अच्छा देखो, इसमें अगर हम लोग बात करते हैं इसका ट्रिपल इंटीग्रेशन आप निकालते हैं, डाइवर्जेंस ऑफ अगर आप इसका निकालते हैं तो ये कितना हो जाएगा, इसका पार्शियल डेरिवेटिव विद रिस्पेक्ट टू x करिए, इट इज 6x, इसका पार्शियल डेरिवेटिव विद रिस्पेक्ट टू y करिए, कितना हो जाएगा, ये इट इज 12y, पार्शियल डेरिवेटिव विद रिस्पेक्ट टू z करेंगे, कितना आ जाएगा, +1, और यहाँ क्या आ जाएगा, dz dy dx. पहले z की लिमिट लगा दो, z का लिमिट दिया हुआ है 0 से लेके 4. अब इसको अगर आप इंटीग्रेट करते हैं तो ये आ जाएगा, डबल इंटीग्रेशन अभी रहने दो, यहाँ पे आ जाएगा 6xz प्लस 12yz प्लस कितना आ जाएगा हमारे पास z, लिमिट लगा दो इसका 0 से लेके 4, और यहाँ आ जाएगा dy dx. तो ये हो जाएगा डबल इंटीग्रेशन, और यहाँ हो जाएगा अगर z का वैल्यू 4 रखोगे तो आ जाएगा ये 24x, और ये हो जाएगा 48y प्लस 4, और यहाँ आ जाएगा dx dy. सबसे अच्छा तरीका है इस डबल इंटीग्रेशन करने का, इसको चेंज कर लो पोलर फॉर्म में. तो इसको अगर हम चेंज करते हैं पोलर फॉर्म में तो x का वैल्यू ले लो r cos थीटा, y का वैल्यू ले लीजिए आप r sin थीटा, तो हो जाएगा 24 r cos थीटा प्लस 48
इंटू आर साइन थीटा प्लस आर प्लस 4 को 4 आने दीजिए और जो dx dy है वो चला जाएगा आर डी थीटा में और लिमिट आर का लगा दो 0 से लेके रेडियस कितना दिया है यहां से आ जाएगा 0 से लेके 4 और थीटा हो जाएगा 0 से 2 पाई। अगर इसका थीटा का वैल्यू बात करें, कॉस थीटा को 0 से 2 पाई में इंटीग्रेट करेंगे ये वैल्यू हो जाएगा 0 और साइन थीटा भी 2 पाई में आ जाएगा 0, केवल बचेगा क्या 4r dr। अब 4r dr का अगर इंटीग्रेशन करोगे तो ये हो जाएगा r स्क्वायर बाई 2, लिमिट लगा दो r का कहां से कहां तक,
सीधा
0 से लेके
ये एरिया है सर, ये
एरिया है,
सीधा
बोल सकते हैं। तो यहां से कितना आ जाएगा ये 4 और ये हमारे पास आ जाएगा
64 पाई
इंटू 2 पाई भी आएगा सर। तो ये हमारे पास आ जाएगा 64 पाई इज द आंसर,
राइट।
द आंसर इज ऑप्शन बी
64 पाई।
सिंपल क्वेश्चन।
Next question number 140. You can see this here Fourier series expansion of this f of x is equal to x sin x from the interval minus pi to pi. Always we understand that whenever the interval limits are of minus a to a, we need to be very careful that we need to look at the function whether it is even or odd. So let's look at this even or odd here. So x is an odd function and sin x is an odd function, odd into odd is even function, right? That means minus into minus it is plus, so it's an even function here it is, right? So in that case, so it is an even function. In even function, what is the direct an formula? It is, that is 2 by pi integral 0 to pi f of x, that is x sin x into cos nx dx here, right? This simple, it is f of x. This is the formula. I am taking directly f of x here. So now actually we want only a1, so that for n is equal to 1. So put n is equal to 1 here. So you will be getting this a1 is equal to 2 by pi integral 0 to pi, and this is x sin x into cos x dx. So now you can see this is 2 sin x cos x is becomes sin 2x. So therefore I can say this one is 1 by pi and this is integral 0 to pi x sin 2x dx here, right? So this is the integration of uv, you have to do it. So after doing this integration of uv, so the answer you are going to get it is
minus 1 by 2.
Minus 1 by 2. So this is directly you will be getting it is minus 1 by 2 after doing the integration of uv. I hope everyone can do this integration of uv,
It's
right?
a simple question.
Yes. So this next question is that the partial differential equation formed by the eliminator. This is purely classroom question. The classroom question is simply here f of x square plus y square. You can see those who attended the online or offline class. So you can see that it is, this is the question which we do in the class. The same, but here the change is it is minus y square. So that much similar question we have got. But anyway, so we are going to solve this. I mean, we need to form the differential equation. See, the purpose is that here how to form the differential equation by elimination of arbitrary function. That means f को निकालना है. हम f को निकालने के लिए हम क्या करना है, पहले differentiate करो. तो dou z by dou x, that is here it is f becomes f dash into the differentiation, internal differentiation is the 2x here. ये 2x हो गया और दूसरा dou z by dou y. So dou z by dou y f becomes f dash into this becomes minus 2y. Now if you do the division of both, that means if you divide both, so f dash कटेगा और ये 2 भी कट जाएगा और ये y इधर जाएगा कि ये हो गया कि माइनस वाई पी इज इक्वल टू एक्स क्यू हो गया, राइट? सो दिस बिकम्स एक्स क्यू प्लस वाई पी इज इक्वल टू 0. सो एक्स क्यू प्लस वाई पी इज इक्वल टू 0. ऑप्शन डी इज द राइट आंसर. ओके,
नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन यू कैन सी दे आर लुकिंग फॉर कि इसका जो सोल्यूशन है उसमें एक सोल्यूशन उसका ये दिया हुआ है, हमसे उसका दूसरा सोल्यूशन पूछ रहा है. अगर इसका आप सब्सिडियरी इक्वेशन लिखोगे, थोड़ा सा अच्छा क्वेश्चन है, कह सकते हैं पार्शियल डिफरेंशियल इक्वेशन का, तो इसको क्या लिखेंगे इसका सब्सिडियरी इक्वेशन? इट इज dx अपॉन एक्स स्क्वायर माइनस वाई स्क्वायर माइनस जेड स्क्वायर इज इक्वल टू dy डिवाइडेड बाई 2xy एंड दैट इज इक्वल टू dz डिवाइडेड बाई 2xz. तो एक सोल्यूशन तो इससे मिल जाता है और इसी को सोल्यूशन को उन्होंने ये दिया हुआ है. हमको चाहिए इसका दूसरा सोल्यूशन कैसे निकलेगा. अब देखो इसका दूसरा सोल्यूशन अगर हमें निकालना है तो मैं इसको लिख रहा हूं, इसको लिखते हैं. अगर इस 2x को पूरे इक्वेशन से मल्टीप्लाई कर दो तो यहां आ जाएगा 2x डिवाइड बाई क्या आ जाएगा एक्स स्क्वायर माइनस वाई स्क्वायर माइनस जेड स्क्वायर एंड दैट इज इक्वल टू dy बाई वाई और यहां आ जाएगा dz डिवाइड बाई z. अब देखो इसको जरा मैनिपुलेट करते हैं, हमने बोला इसको 2i से मल्टीप्लाई करो तो यहाँ आ जाएगा 2 टाइम्स वाई स्क्वायर, इसको 2z से मल्टीप्लाई करो तो यहाँ आ जाएगा 2 टाइम्स जेड स्क्वायर। अब इसको अगर हम लगाते हैं इसका फोर्थ पार्ट, तो नीचे देखो हम लोग क्या लेते हैं, एक्स स्क्वायर माइनस वाई स्क्वायर माइनस जेड स्क्वायर, इसको ऐड कर दीजिए प्लस 2y स्क्वायर प्लस 2z स्क्वायर, तो ऊपर क्या आ जाएगा हमारे पास 2x dx प्लस 2y dy प्लस आ जाएगा 2z dz। ठीक है, अब इसको इक्वेट कर दीजिए किसी से, चलो इन दोनों को लेके हम सॉल्व कर लेते हैं। अगर इन दोनों को लेके सॉल्व करते हैं तो देखो हमारे पास क्या आएगा, ये जो हमारे पास है 2x dx प्लस 2y dy है ना प्लस 2z dz डिवाइडेड बाय बचेगा एक्स स्क्वायर प्लस वाई स्क्वायर प्लस जेड स्क्वायर, और यहां आ जाएगा dz डिवाइड बाई z, दोनों साइड इंटीग्रेट कर दो तो ये आ जाएगा हमारे पास ln एक्स स्क्वायर प्लस वाई स्क्वायर प्लस जेड स्क्वायर एंड दैट इज इक्वल टू ln z प्लस लगा दो एक कांस्टेंट ln b, तो ये हमारे पास हो जाएगा ln zb, ये हो जाएगा ln एक्स स्क्वायर प्लस वाई स्क्वायर प्लस जेड स्क्वायर। अगर ln से ln कैंसिल हो जाएगा, आ जाएगा हमारे पास एक्स स्क्वायर प्लस वाई स्क्वायर प्लस जेड स्क्वायर एंड दैट इज इक्वल टू zb एंड दैट इज द आंसर।
ऑप्शन बी इज द राइट,
व्हिच इज ऑप्शन बी। थोड़ा सा बोल सकते सर पार्शियल डिफरेंशियल में ये एक अच्छा क्वेश्चन दिया हुआ था।
यस सर,
गो विद द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन सर।
So this is there are surprisingly two questions are of the same type of partial differential equation we have here. So you can see this is p minus x square. So there is a certain type of non-linear partial differential equation we have of this type. So as you see, the derivative with respect to x and x is there here, derivative with respect to y and y here. So x terms are aside and y terms are aside here. So both can be equated with some constant c, suppose. Okay, if I am equating both with c, then I will be getting two equations, p minus x square is equal to c and q plus y square is equal to c here. So from this, if I can get it as c plus x square and q is equal to c minus y square. So why I am taking the p and q from this differential equation by equating c, so you will understand it now, because the differential, it is a dou z by dou x, it is dou z by dou y, but when you want a solution of this differential equation is z. So we know that z is the function of x comma y. So therefore, according to the total derivative, we can write the dz can be written as p dx and plus q dy, right? So now I have p in terms of x and now I have the q in terms of y from the differential equation. So therefore, it can be integrated here. So if you do this integration, you will get the answer very easily. That is, it is this. So our ultimate thing is what? Use the differential equation and somehow we need to get the z here. So for that we are doing this process. So there is no need to learn the method here, but we can get it this way. So that is z is equal to, so this is cx plus x cube by 3 and plus cy minus y cube by 3 plus c1 here. So this is what? So option D is the right answer for this one. Now this is just like a classroom question. So it is even in our workbook of MEDIC also we have this type, same type of question we have. And see this one, p square plus q square is equal to x plus y.
Workbook question.
This is the same workbook question what we have in our
even we deal in the class also.
So it is a workbook question beta. So ये आपको तो पिछले प्रॉब्लम से सेम मेथड है, तो सेम प्रोसेस है, तो आप इसका आंसर आ जाएगा आपको D. So option D will be the answer for this. Okay. तो यहाँ पर देख लीजिए. So generally we will be getting the complex integration में क्या होता है, CRT, CIT, CF आता है, right? But यहाँ पर थोड़ा सा surprisingly क्या किया ना, तो he has taken the circle mod z is equal to 2, okay, from theta is equal to 0 to pi by 3. It is just a sectorial. It's just a sectorial. So if it is the case, then how do you integrate this z square dz using the equation of the contour from where theta is varies from 0 to how much, sir? Pi by 3 here, pi by 3. So now what we, if you want to integrate this, because it is not closed one, so what we can do is see as from this, okay, sorry, from this z is equal to 2 into e power I theta, we can write it, right? And therefore dz is equal to I into 2 into e power I theta d theta here. Just substitute all these things in terms of theta and integrated from 0 to pi by 3. So then you will be getting the answer as minus
16 by 3.
minus 16 by 3. Yes, minus 16 by 3. So substitute this z and dz into this and integrate with respect to theta from 0 to pi by 3. You will be getting the answer as minus 16 by 3 बेटा. So ये तो इंटीग्रेशन आप कर सकते हैं, ठीक है, बहुत सिंपल.
क्लास में भी करते सर, एक क्वेश्चन लोग कराते हैं ओपन कर पे इंटीग्रेशन.
हाँ, लॉजिक काफी है, इनको कर सकते हैं.
नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन अगेन एक क्वेश्चन कॉम्प्लेक्स से है. अच्छा देखो ये एक सर्कल है जिसका रेडियस कितना दिया है 1. अगर इसका पोल्स देखोगे तो एक ही पोल है z इक्वल टू 0 जो क्लोज कंटूर के अंदर है. आप चाहो तो इसको ऐसे लिख लो, इसको लिख सकते हैं 1 अपॉन z स्क्वायर प्लस 4 है ना, डिवाइडेड बाय z और इसको कर दो dz. अब ये हमारा पोल है, इसको लिख सकते हैं दैट इज इक्वल टू 2 पाई आई इंटू हमारे पास क्या आ जाएगा f ऑफ z और z का वैल्यू कहाँ लेंगे z इक्वल टू 0 पे, जहां fz हमारा क्या कहलाएगा, इट इज 1 अपॉन z स्क्वायर प्लस 4. तो यहाँ पर अगर f ऑफ z का वैल्यू निकाल लो कहाँ पे, z इक्वल टू 0 पे, तो ये आ जाएगा कितना 1 अपॉन 4. पुट कर दो वैल्यू, इट इज 2 पाई आई इंटू 1 अपॉन 4. द आंसर इज पाई आई बाई 2. सिंपल क्वेश्चन.
Option D.
Which is option D.
Yes.
Sir, next question.
So this is, we have applied the CIF because this is the analytic function within the contour. Right, sir. Sir,
ये क्वेश्चन तो हमसे पूछा गया है यार, नॉर्मल डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन पे हमसे पूछा गया है. आप देखोगे तो क्लास नोट्स में भी कराया हमने. अगर आप नोट्स देखोगे तो उसमें ये बात बताते हैं कि ये पॉइंट हमारा क्या है म्यू पॉइंट पे, इस पॉइंट को पीक का जो वैल्यू होगा म्यू और क्या आता है 1 अपॉन सिग्मा रूट ओवर 2 पाई. अगर आपको फंक्शन पूरा याद है एफ एक्स का नॉर्मल डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन क्या होता है, इट इज 1 अपॉन सिग्मा रूट ओवर 2 पाई ई टू द पावर -1/2 एक्स माइनस म्यू बाई सिग्मा का होल स्क्वायर. जब x का वैल्यू म्यू होगा उस समय ये पावर क्या हो जाएगा 0, वैल्यू कितना हो जाएगा 1, तो fx का वैल्यू आ जाएगा 1 अपॉन सिग्मा रूट ओवर 2 पाई. यही वैल्यू पूछा गया था, उसका मीन क्या होगा और y का वैल्यू क्या होगा.
Yes sir, ये normal distribution, it is a symmetric distribution, so therefore mean is equal to median is equal to mode. So this is the mode, and at this mode x equal to mu, this is the ordinate. So it is the modal ordinate.
So this is all, I think, sir. That's all for mathematics.
Yes.
So overall, we can say the mathematics question are moderate,
very comfortable,
and compared to last 3 to 4 years. This year, the mathematics question is, especially in electrical branch, is very, we can say, moderate question.
Yes, obviously.
All the best, guys. Go for the next subject.
Dear children, let us discuss about the microprocessor question. Myself, I am Vijay Kumar. Look at question number 98. Which one of the following buses is used to control the access to and use of data and address buses by various units which share the bus in a computer? It is a direct question. There are three types of buses. What is a bus? Bus is the communication path between processor, memory and input output devices. So there are three types: address bus, data bus and control bus. So control bus responsibility is to see that operations are performed, read, write, IO read, IO write, so on etc., opcode fetch and all. So it is direct question which relates to control bus. So this is the answer, right? Sorry, this one is the answer, right? Next one, 99. If at time t0 the address from which the data is to be retrieved is placed in MER, MER stands for memory address register, okay, and at time t1 the required data is available at MDR, elapsed time t1 minus t0 is called. Very simple. See, anything to access the data from memory, so in general in memory whatever is there we call it as data, but instructions are also part of, can be called as data only. But here with respect to memory everything is in binary form. This is the processor, right, CPU, and this one is the memory, okay. So from memory if we want to address any memory location, so any address from the CPU is copied first into MER, memory address register, and whatever comes from the memory to the CPU, it comes into another register called as MDR, memory data register. Is it clear? So any address is held in the MER and any data to and fro from memory to the CPU is brought into the MDR. Is it clear? So after the address is placed, the memory is taking certain amount of time t. Okay, the time delay is simply t1 minus t0. He is telling that at t0 address is placed, and after the address is placed, when control is given, data is brought into the MDR. So this amount of time is t1. He is saying. What is the time difference? It is simply memory access time. It can be for read, write, anything. Okay, so that is called as what? Access time of the memory, or it can be memory access time. So that is the meaning. Memory MDR means memory data register or memory buffer register, right? So option is D. Next one, which one of the following is used for generation of an accurate time delay for event counting, rate generation, complex waveform generation applications? See, there are different types of interfacing ICs, like there are like 8253 is there, 8254. This IC is called as programmable timer or counter. There are three 16-bit timers here. Okay, fine. They operate in different modes. So this is a DMA controller 8257 or 8237, and it is math coprocessor, and other one is program interrupt controller. Okay, so that is 8259. So there are different interfacing ICs. He is directly asking what is the meaning of programmable timer. So that is, the programmable timer can be used for doing any of these tasks. So that is 8253 or 8254. That is option A. Next one, which one of the following not only translates the code into machine language but also executes it? See, for translation of high level language to machine level language is the low level language, and high level language like C, so on, etc. Okay, like assembly languages translated to machine code by assembler. So there are different softwares here. Interpreter converts high level language to machine level language line by line, line by line, line by line. Is it understood? But not only that, it can simply execute also. You can look at the results for every instruction execution. So that is the correct answer. Next one is like, it's why others are not correct. Linker, what is linker? It will link the program, the main code, and other library functions or other subroutines and all. So it does not execute that. So this is wrong. Loader is used for converting finally whatever the output of assembler is there. It converts to the binary form and then loads the program to memory. So it is not executing. That is also wrong. Compiler will convert what? High level to machine level language, entire program. It will give the errors. That's all. So here it is executing, he says. So interpreter is the correct answer. Fine. Because for line by line you can look at the answers also. So the answer is A. So these are the different questions. I hope you have solved the questions very well. These all things we have already discussed in the classroom. Direct notes questions, simple questions. Okay. Fine. Thank you.
सो वेलकम बैक। मैं दोबारा आपके साथ हूँ इलेक्ट्रिकल इंजीनियरिंग के इस पेपर में मटेरियल साइंस डिस्कस करने के लिए। सो चलिए यहीं से शुरू करते हैं। बड़ा पॉपुलर से क्वेश्चन है ये। द रेजिस्टिविटी ऑफ फेराइट्स इज वेरी मच हायर देन दैट ऑफ फेरोमैग्नेटिक मेटल्स। आपके नोट्स में ये लाइन हमने लिखाई होगी। सो ये स्टेटमेंट तो पूरी तरह से सही है, ठीक है। एंड देन ही इज सेइंग द फेराइट्स आर केमिकल कंपाउंड्स एंड इलेक्ट्रॉन्स इन देम आर सब्जेक्ट टू रिस्ट्रेंट ऑफ बैलेंस फोर्स। जी हाँ, बिल्कुल सही है। फेराइट्स क्या है? दे आर द ऑक्साइड्स ऑफ द मेटल्स। सो मेटल के ऑक्साइड्स के पास फ्री इलेक्ट्रॉन नहीं होंगे, तो बेसिकली बॉन्डेड इलेक्ट्रॉन्स होते हैं। वही चीज़ वो कह रहा है कि सब्जेक्ट टू रिस्ट्रेंट ऑफ बैलेंस फोर्सेस। और अगर फ्री इलेक्ट्रॉन नहीं होंगे तो कंडक्टिविटी नहीं होगी, रेजिस्टिविटी हाई होगी। सो दिस स्टेटमेंट इज एक्सप्लेनिंग आल्सो द फर्स्ट वन। सो ए विल बी द राइट चॉइस फॉर दिस। मेरे हिसाब से इसका आंसर क्या होना चाहिए? ऑप्शन ए। थोड़ा अच्छा क्वेश्चन था, आपको थोड़ा इसमें सोचना था रीजन में। असर्शन रीजन यूजुअली अच्छे भी होते हैं। नेक्स्ट आते हैं। अ वेरी वीक फॉर्म ऑफ मैग्नेटिज्म दैट इज नॉन परमानेंट परसिस्ट ओनली व्हेन एन एक्सटर्नल फील्ड इज अप्लाइड। इट इज इंड्यूस्ड बाय a change in orbital motion of electrons due to an applied magnetic field. This form of magnetism is called, देखो, चेंज इन ऑर्बिटल मोशन के कारण, इलेक्ट्रॉन के ऑर्बिटल मोशन के कारण सिर्फ एक ही मैग्नेटिज्म होता है, दैट इज डायमैग्नेटिज्म। बाकी के जितने भी होते हैं वो इलेक्ट्रॉन स्पिन के कारण होते हैं, परमानेंट मैग्नेटिक डायपोल्स पाए जाते हैं। सो ये बात हम लोगों ने डिस्कस की है कि इन सब में परमानेंट पाए जाते हैं और इसमें जब हम फील्ड लगाएंगे तो उसमें ऑर्बिटल एंगुलर मोमेंटम में चेंज होने की वजह से पाया जाएगा। सो इसका आंसर जो होगा वो डी होगा। ठीक, इट इज नॉन परमानेंट, जितनी देर फील्ड लगाए रहोगे उतनी देर मिलेगा, फील्ड हटा लोगे नहीं मिलेगा। सो ऑप्शन डी इज द राइट चॉइस। अगेन सेम क्वेश्चन उन्होंने पूछ लिया, द मैग्नेटिक मोमेंट्स ऑफ डायमैग्नेटिक मटेरियल आर मेनली ड्यू टू ऑर्बिटल एंगुलर मोमेंटम ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन्स। बाकी सभी में मैंने बताया था कि स्पिन के कारण होते हैं, बट ये एकमात्र है जिसके कारण आपका ऑर्बिटल एंगुलर मोमेंटम के कारण होता है। सो इसका आंसर क्या हो जाएगा, ए ऑप्शन हो जाएगा। ठीक है, सो ऑप्शन ए। नेक्स्ट आते हैं, next is when a ferromagnetic substance is magnetized there are small changes in dimensions, the phenomena is। आप अपने नोट्स में याद करिए, मैग्नेटोस्ट्रिक्शन की डिफिनीशन मैंने लिखा है कि when magnetic materials are magnetized changes in dimensions are generally observed, this phenomena is known as magnetostriction। सेम उसने लिख लिया, मैग्नेटिक में वर्ड यूज करता है उसने फेरोमैग्नेटिक, यू नो दैट फेरोमैग्नेटिक आर गुड मैग्नेटिक मटेरियल। इन Fe3O4 ईच क्यूबिक यूनिट सेल कंटेन्स 8। ये PYQ में मेंस में भी आया हुआ क्वेश्चन है और प्रीवियस ईयर का ये क्वेश्चन है, काफ़ी पॉपुलर क्वेश्चन है। चलो इसको लगे हाथ सॉल्व भी कर लेते हैं यहाँ पर, और जिसने PYQ ठीक से किया होगा वो तो कर ले जाएगा इसको, अदरवाइज थोड़ा सा मुश्किल होगा। गुड क्वेश्चन है। यहाँ पर आपको सैचुरेशन मैग्नेटाइजेशन निकालना है। सो सैचुरेशन मैग्नेटाइजेशन का फार्मूला है कि कितने बोहर मैग्नेट्रॉन्स आपके पास हैं और एक बोहर मैग्नेट्रॉन का वैल्यू कितना है डिवाइडेड बाय द वॉल्यूम, एंड वॉल्यूम में ए क्यूब मान लेता हूं, वेयर ए इज द लेटेस्ट पैरामीटर दिया होगा। ठीक है, एज लेंथ, यूनिट सेल एज लेंथ इज गिवन दिस। ठीक, अब देखिए इसमें जो ये Fe3 प्लस हैं दे डू नॉट कंट्रीब्यूट, दीज Fe2 प्लस कॉन्ट्रीब्यूट्स, और आपको मैंने क्लास में बना करके दिखाया है कि ईच Fe कॉन्ट्रीब्यूट्स 4, सो देयर आर 8, सो दे विल कॉन्ट्रीब्यूट 32 बोहर मैग्नेट्रॉन। ठीक है, सो हालांकि इस क्वेश्चन में दे भी दिया गया है कि ईच ऑफ देम मतलब हर एक यूनिट सेल में जो कंट्रीब्यूशन है वो 32 का है, और 1 बोहर मैग्नेट्रॉन की वैल्यू भी दे दी गई है। अब आपसे सैचुरेशन मैग्नेटाइजेशन पूछ रहा है। सो हाउ मेनी, एनबी की वैल्यू आपके पास 32। ठीक, एंड 1 बोहर मैग्नेट्रॉन की वैल्यू आपके पास कितनी है, दैट्स गिवन, एंड यू शुड रिमेंबर आल्सो 9.27 into 10⁻⁻24 अपॉन ए क्यूब। Now you put the value of A in meter. A is 839 nanometer. Put this value into meter. So 0.839 into 10⁻⁻9 meter cube. So I am not putting the unit, automatically the unit would be the standard one. So this cube इसका क्यूब। कैलकुलेशन थोड़ा लेंदी है, वो आपको करना पड़ेगा, एंड करने के बाद, कैलकुलेशन करने के बाद यू विल फाइंड ऑप्शन सी एज द राइट चॉइस, 5 × 10⁵ एम्पियर पर मीटर। सरप्राइजिंगली ये क्वेश्चन मेंस में भी आया हुआ है और यहाँ ऑब्जेक्टिव में भी पूछ लिया गया है। समटाइम्स दे डू दीज काइंड ऑफ थिंग्स, कुछ कैलकुलेटिव क्वेश्चन दे देते हैं। Which one of the following statement is not correct for Fermi level? Fermi level का कई बार मैं कुछ बैचेस में लिखाता हूँ, sometimes if I am not in hurry, तो Fermi level का एक फार्मूला लिखाता हूँ खासतौर पर टेक्निकल क्लासेस में, और कई बार नहीं भी लिखाता हूँ। अब ये डिपेंड करता है कि आपके लक पर। हालांकि ये क्वेश्चन PYQ में है। दिस इज h²/8m, क्या है ये टर्म्स मैं अभी आपको बताता हूँ, एंड 3n/π to the power 3/2, सॉरी 2/3। ये फार्मूला होता है फर्मी लेवल्स का इन द मेटल्स। ठीक, यहाँ h प्लैंक कांस्टेंट है, मास ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन है, n इज द नंबर ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन्स पर यूनिट वॉल्यूम। सो ये दिस फर्मी लेवल इज डायरेक्टली प्रोपोर्शनल टू n to the power 3/2। तो जैसे जैसे नंबर ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन्स बढ़ेंगे फर्मी लेवल बढ़ेगा। अब आपसे क्वेश्चन में क्या पूछ रहा है वो देखिए, इतनी सी इंफॉर्मेशन से एक क्वेश्चन बन जाएगा। ही इज सेइंग व्हिच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग इज नॉट करेक्ट फॉर द फर्मी लेवल। यू सी इन द ऑप्शन सी ही इज सेइंग द मैग्नीट्यूड ऑफ फर्मी लेवल डिक्रीजेस विद the number of electrons per unit volume of the metal. No, the magnitude of Fermi level will increase with the number of electrons per unit volume. So this option C is not correct, and he is asking which one of the following is not correct. So for this question your answer is going to be option C. ऑप्शन सी आपका आंसर हो जाएगा। नेक्स्ट आते हैं, इलेक्ट्रॉन्स आर इमिटेड विद जीरो वेलोसिटी। अब जीरो वेलोसिटी से इमिट हो रहे हैं तो आप समझिए, व्हेन यू गिव लाइट, सम पार्ट ऑफ द एनर्जी इज रिक्वायर्ड टू एक्साइट द इलेक्ट्रॉन एंड द रिमेनिंग पार्ट ऑफ द एनर्जी इज यूटिलाइज्ड टू गिव इट वेलोसिटी, बट हियर the electrons have zero velocity. It means whatever energy you are giving, that energy is just exciting the electron, ejecting the electron. So this energy must be equal to the threshold energy. Threshold energy is the minimum amount of energy required to eject an electron. Now with this information try to solve this question. Serpent metal surface is this, it is expected to, so this wavelength की लाइट आप दे रहे हो और इस wavelength की लाइट पर जो इलेक्ट्रॉन इजेक्ट कर रहा है, इजेक्ट हो रहा है, that is the having zero velocity. So it means this wavelength is your threshold wavelength. So corresponding frequency would be the threshold frequency. And how can you calculate the threshold frequency? Usually be represented by nu, या nu naught, whatever you represent, that is c upon lambda. So c is the velocity applied 3 into 10 to the power 8 upon lambda is 6800 angstrom. Angstrom is 10 raised power minus 10. You solve this, on solving this मैंने solve कर रखा है, so मैं दोबारा नहीं सॉल्व करूंगा. इट कम्स आउट 4.4 into 10 to the power 14 hertz. It comes out like this, 4.4 into 10 to the power 14 hertz. So that's given in option D. So right choice for this question is given by option D. इस क्वेश्चन के लिए जो आपकी सही चॉइस है वो ऑप्शन डी है. नेक्स्ट आते हैं, let's move on to the next question. Next question is the materials which possess a permanent magnetic moment in the absence of an external field and manifest very large and permanent magnetization. तो ऐसे मटेरियल जिनमें फील्ड की एब्सेंट में भी परमानेंट मैग्नेटिक मोमेंट है एंड दे एग्जिबिट लार्ज एंड परमानेंट मैग्नेटाइजेशन. सो कौन है इसमें सबसे बेस्ट है? फेरोमैग्नेटिक. ठीक, एंटी फेरोमैग्नेटिक में एक दूसरे को कैंसिल कर देते हैं, तो इन द एब्सेंस ऑफ इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड दे डोंट हैव मैग्नेटाइजेशन. फेरी मैग्नेटिक में भी एंटी पैरेलल होते हैं, सो दे डोंट हैव स्ट्रांग. सो इस स्ट्रांग या लार्ज वैल्यू की वजह से फेरी भी नहीं सही. सुपर फेरी इज नथिंग. सो द बेस्ट ऑप्शन for this question is A, right and quite obvious option. ठीक, next, the magnetic inductance becomes zero inside a superconductor when it is cooled below Tc in a weak external magnetic field. The magnetic flux is expelled from the interior. ये लाइन पढ़ना स्टार्ट करो, आपको कुछ याद आएगा. मैं आपको लाइन लिखाता हूं कि द रिपल्सन ऑफ मैग्नेटिक फ्लक्स लाइंस फ्रॉम द इंटीरियर ऑफ अ पीस ऑफ सेमीकंडक्टर व्हेन इट इज बिलो द क्रिटिकल टेम्परेचर इज नोन एज मिजनर्स इफेक्ट. सो सेम बात इसने लिखी हुई है. सो मिजनर ऑशन फील्ड इफेक्ट इसने लिखा हुआ, आप मिजनर का नाम पकड़ो और आंसर लगाओ. सो दिस इज द स्टेटमेंट ऑफ द मिजनर्स इफेक्ट. नेक्स्ट, द थ्योरेटिकल. अच्छा, इस फॉर्मूले के पीछे इस बार बहुत हाथ धो के पड़ गए. ये जीएस में सुबह आपने किया होगा, ये ईसी में भी पूछा गया, ये इलेक्ट्रिकल में भी पूछा गया. सो दिस ईयर दे आर मोर इंटरेस्टेड इन दिस फार्मूला. या आपसे तो बहुत आसान पूछा है. इसमें रो डेंसिटी है, स्मॉल n इज इफेक्टिव नंबर ऑफ एटम्स, a इज एटॉमिक वेट, vc इज द वॉल्यूम ऑफ द सेल एंड na इज अवोगाद्रोस नंबर. दिस इज योर अवोगाद्रोस नंबर, right? So this is very well known formula. Several questions we have done regarding this. So he is saying ki Na will represent, so Na represent Avogadro's number. Option C is the right choice for this question, right? This is about the question 48. Now 49, the value of packing factor for the FCC crystal. FCC के लिए atomic packing factor या packing factor is 0.74, but there is no option 74, so nearest option is what? 75. So you will go with the 0.75. This is the answer for the FCC. Very popular question, so many times it has been asked. So these were the questions from material science. Easier side पे था. देखो एक दो question तो हमेशा different आते हैं, out of the box आते हैं, but majority of the questions were doable. And इस तरह से मेरा जो conclusion इस subject को लेकर के है कि easy questions थे, doable questions थे. Mostly questions आपने पढ़े हुए हैं या तो PYQ में या क्लास में हम लोगों ने कवर किया है. सो थैंक यू फॉर वॉचिंग अस. और अपने मार्क्स वगैरह आप भेजिए, उससे थोड़ा अंदाज़ा लगेगा कि कितनी कट ऑफ जा सकती है. देन वी कैन कम अप विद द प्लान कि आगे क्या करना चाहिए. थैंक यू.
Hello students, welcome to the Digital Electronics Solution session. Here we are having in the electrical engineering 2 questions. Let me focus on those 2 very simple questions. Here, The first question is a 12-bit A to D converter. They give the frequency and they are asking the conversion time. It is a so simple way we can do that, because here we are having the conversion time for that. As you know, conversion time varies for ADC to ADC. Like counter type, it is going to be 2 power n minus 1 into Tc, and for successive approximation, it is n into Tc. For that, we should find the Tc, where the Tc is nothing but 1 by Fc, and this Fc is already they gave as 1 megahertz. So based on that 1 megahertz, we had to find the Tc. And now the conversion time for the counter type, it's going to be 2 power n minus 1 into Tc, and for successive approximation type, it is n into Tc. Once you calculate the Tc, we can get the conversion time. But sir, which one I had to make it, whether the counter type or successive approximation, or what actually you had to consider? Depending on the options, you had to select that, and we can do that easily that. Okay, right. Next one, we are having another question here. Pi capital M 0134 they give, it's a max term and POS form, and they are asking about what is the full form of that. It's going to be very easy, very simple questions they asked actually. You can understand that. Here 0134 they give. For 0 the code is 000, and it's going to be A plus B plus C. And here for 1 it is 001, it is going to be A plus B plus C bar. And for 3 it is going to be 011, it is going to be A plus B bar plus C bar. And for 4 it is 100, that is A bar plus B plus C. That means here, where 0 is there, that corresponding variable is taken as it is, and when 1 is there, that corresponding variable is taken as complemented. That's why this 1 corresponding is C bar, and 1 B bar C bar, and this 1 is A bar, and all other zeros are taken as it is like that, and the operator is taken as plus. That's enough. It is so easy. The way of questions they asked are very easy, and you can solve that with fundamentals like that. Thank you.
Good evening all. Now let us discuss questions of control system subject from today's prelims exam. We got around 12 to 13 questions. They are of course an easy doing, just 1 or 2 numerical, otherwise all other questions are direct questions from class discussion. Let's take that. This question number 31, a mathematical abstraction to represent or model the dynamics of a control system utilizes the 3 types of variables called as. In control system, we have only 2 mathematical models. One is transfer function model, the other is state model. Transfer function model utilizes only 2 variables, input and output. State model utilizes 3 variables, input, output and state variables. So this is what the answer to the question, option C, answer C. In this, in this question, if it is possible to transfer the system state from initial state to any other desired state in a specified time by applying a control vector u of t, then the system is said to be. This is the definition of controllability. It's as it is there in our notes. This is the definition of controllability. The system is said to be controllable or state controllable. So again answer is option C. Option C. In this question, if every state x of t naught can be completely identified by measuring the output y of t over finite interval, then the system is said to be. This is again the definition of observability. So if I can observe or identify every state of the system in the output, then it is said to be observable. It is the definition of observability. Answer option B. In this, for a type 2 system with ramp input, what will be the steady state error? See, we have a table of steady state error, a ready-made table. For a type 2 system, steady state of a step input will be 0, ramp input will be 0. For parabolic input, it will be finite. So the question is, type 2 system, ramp input, steady state error will be 0. That is option C. It's a ready-made table is there in our notes. I told you to remember that for many questions to be answered directly. So type 2 system, ramp input, steady state is 0. Here, we have got the forward path transfer function of a system having unity feedback to be 10 upon 0.5s plus 1 into s plus 1. 0.5s plus 1 into s plus 5. The question is to find the position and velocity error constant for this system will be. See, positional error constant Kp, it is limit s tends to 0, the given open loop transfer function, that becomes 2. Kv, it is limit s tends to 0, s multiplied by the open loop transfer function, that becomes 0. So answer to the question is option B. Option B. Option number 3. A second. I think that there was another question in between. Yeah, even question number 53, a question is missing here. I will add it. Question number 53. The transfer function of a linear time invariant system is defined to be the ratio of. It is defined to be the ratio of Laplace transform of output to that of Laplace transform of input under the assumption that the initial conditions are 0. That is a direct definition of the transfer function. Answer is option A, question number 53, which is missing from the slides. Next. The steady state error for type 1, type 2 and type 3 system with parabolic input will be respectively. The input is parabola. Steady state for type 1 system will be infinity. For type 2 system it is finite. For type 3 system it is 0. Again it is from the table. So it has to be infinite, a finite value, constant and 0. Answer to the question has to be option A. (54) 56. Another question is missing. Question number 55 is also missing. That is also from control system. I will add that. Yeah. A system is described by the differential equation. Question is to find the transfer function. Of course, it can be taken into signals or controls, but in this sequence, I think it to be. So the transfer function, you can obtain it to be using the time shift property. That's like 1 plus 3e to the power minus 2s upon 3s square plus 5s plus 1. 1 plus 3 to answer option C. 1 plus 3 into e to the power minus 2s upon 3s square plus 5s plus 1. In this, If any root of the characteristic equation has positive real part, if there are repeated roots on the geometric axis, that's an unstable system. That is the concept of instability. Answer option D. Question is to find the phase margin. Open loop transfer function is given. Formula for phase margin, it is 180 degree plus phase angle of the given system, that is 2 times tan inverse of omega at omega, that is omega GC, gain crossover frequency. At gain crossover frequency, magnitude has to be 1 of the given function. So magnitude is 1 by root omega square plus 1 whole square. This has to be 1. So omega GC will be 0. When omega is 0, then only the magnitude is 1. Then this will become 180 degree. The answer to the question is option D, 180 degree. Yeah. Question is to find the breakaway point is. Okay. See, the pole zero pattern of the system is this. Root locus lies here and it lies here. So the breakaway point has to be between 0 and -2. But there are several solutions. So we have to get the solutions of dk by ds. When we get the solutions of dk by ds, we got one solution to be minus 0.78, another solution to be minus 2.55. So correct answer is minus 0.78, that is option B. Option B. This question is about quality factor, but that's not control system. It's network theory. So that's all. These are the questions. So as you see, each and every question from the class discussion, from class notes, each and every question as it is present in the class notes. Thank you for watching. Wish you all the best.